Okay, so I'm gonna discuss another Addmaths paper today. So this is another trial paper. It's an Addmaths paper and it's the Selangor Set 2 paper 1 for trial 2023. Okay. Okay, this would be my last paper. This will be the last Addmaths paper I upload. All right. Last set I upload lah. Okay. So after I upload the paper 1, I'll upload paper 2, and then that's all. Right. But I know a lot of you suggest me to do the MRSM paper, and some of you even suggest me to do the Perlace. Okay, and some of you suggest me to do the para, I think. Okay, I read all your comments. Okay, a lot of you suggest me to do these papers, right? But I will not be doing this. I will not be making videos for these papers. But if you have any specific question you want to ask me on other sets, you can WhatsApp me here. All right, this is my number. I'll give you my number. And if you have any specific question that you tak boleh buat, you want the explanation, you can WhatsApp me in this number. Okay, so this is the last set I'll do for for SPM lah. All right, and then the next video I upload, and after I upload the paper 1, paper 2, then maybe I have to wait until like next year punya SPM baru saya start upload already. You faham So okay, let's go. Question number 1. All right, this is a probability distribution question, but we have to know probability distribution. The question can comes out for binomial distribution ataupun normal distribution. But this one, if you read the question, they say x is a discrete random variable such that x and then b8, p. It is given that the standard deviation is 4/3 p smaller than q. Find the value of p. Okay, let's look at the first information here. If they say x, b8, p, you need to know that this b stands for binomial. It means this is a binomial question. So you don't tell me, oh, sir, I need to refer this jadwal to do this question. No need. No need. No need. This jadwal we only refer when it's normal distribution question. This is a binomial distribution question. And if this is a binomial distribution question, you need to know that the number in front here, this 8 here, that is the n. And then this p here, that's the p. Means probability of success, right? But what if it's binomial? Binomial cara dia tulis macam ni. They will write n. Yeah, instead of b, they will write n because it's normal, right? And then what they will write in front is the mean. And then this will be the variance, right? Kalau binomial, kalau normal distribution, dia akan tulis macam ni, right? But for now, I'll erase this one. Okay, let's come back to the question. We already know the n is 8, The n is 8, right? But the p, we don't know lah because they never give us. Okay, but p stands for probability of success. And then let's see what it says here. It is given that the standard deviation is 4/3. So standard deviation equals 4/3, right? And it means later we can use the standard deviation formula. All right, the standard deviation formula is NPQ. You learn this in binomial distribution, the standard deviation formula. And then they say P is less than Q. Okay, this one, confirm it will be important later on, right? But now you can't, now you cannot see why it's important yet. But later, after you do the whole question, this thing will be important for sure, right? Kalau tak, dia takkan mention, tiba-tiba mention P smaller than Q. Mesti ada gunanya, right? So for now, we don't, we don't do anything to it first, right? And then it says find value of P. All right, so let's start. We all know that the standard deviation formula is square root NPQ. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake here. I forget the square root. If variance, then the formula is NPQ, right? But for standard deviation, the formula got square root NPQ. Okay, for binomial distribution, this is the formula we use. So now let's start. Square root NPQ equals 4/3, right? But the n we already know is 8. So I'm just going to sub the n with 8, right? P and Q, they are both probability. P is probability of success, Q is probability of failure. But we can make this in terms of P because we all know the Q sama dengan 1 minus P. Do you agree? Because probability, total probability is always 1, right? So when you take these two, when you have the P to get the Q, you just take 1 minus P, okay? The reason why I changed to 1 minus P is because I want my whole equation to be in terms of P. Then baru saya boleh cari P because the soalan asks you to cari P, right? If it's in terms of P and Q, then it's very difficult. That's why. All right, now I'm just going to pindah the square root to the other side. So it becomes 4/3 bracket square. And it will end up with 16/9. Okay, you can use your calculator to help you. Then what about on the left-hand side? The left-hand side is just 8 times P, which is 8P. and then times 1, you end up with 8p, and then 8 times p times negative p becomes negative 8p square. All you are doing is just, you are just, how to say, you are just opening the bracket, you just expand lah, you just kembangkan, right? Okay, after you reach here, you can see that this equation got square, right? Got square. So when it got square, usually what I will do is I will change it to general form. Okay, I'll change it to general form. But first thing first, let's get rid of the fraction first. So how to get rid of the fraction? Okay, this one let's write it using the order they give us. Okay, wait tunggu saya. All right, so 8p minus 8p square here. Okay, first thing, let's get rid of the fraction because there's fraction here, right? Over 9. So what I can do is I can take the whole equation times 9. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to get rid of the fraction. So when I times 9, this becomes 72p. This one becomes 72p square. This one becomes 16 because the 9 can cut, right? And now only I will susun jadi general form because I see got square. When you see got square means it's a quadratic equation. It means you have to pindah everything to one side equals 0 and then susun jadi general form. But if I susun everything on the left side, my a will be negative. So I have another idea. I can pindah everything to the other side. It means I'll write 0 here and then the negative 72 go there, become positive 72, and then 72p pindah jadi minus 72p, and then the 16 I'll just write plus 16 here, right? Okay, sampai sini you boleh factorize using calculator. But before that, 72, 72, 16, all these numbers can kecilkan. They all can divide by what? They all can bahagi, let's see, bahagi 8. Yeah. When you bahagi 8, you get 9p square. When you bahagi 8, you can dapat 9p. Bahagi 8, you get 2. Okay. So kalau boleh kecilkan, kena kecilkan dulu. Now only you can press calculator and then you will get 2 answer for your p. Okay. But you have to kosong satu baris, baru boleh tulis p. Okay. Now I will press my calculator. Let me press. So what is the A? 9. What's the B? Negative 9. What's the C? 2. So my calculator gives me 2 over 3 and 1 over 3, right? So I'm just going to write it here, 2 over 3, 1 over 3, right? And then atas sini saya akan tulis bracket, bracket, right? So kalau dia P2 over 3, you have to write 3P minus 2. Kalau P1 over 3, you have to write 3P minus 1. Kenapa? Kenapa kena buat macam ni? Sebab kalau jawapan positif, kena tukar jadi negatif. And then kalau bahagi, kena jadi darab. So 2 becomes negative 2, 3 jadi darab. Same concept here. 1 jadi negative, and then 3 jadi darab. That's all. Okay, usually we will write equals 0 here, right? But since for this question, my 0 is in front, then I'll just write in front. Okay, but that one is like small issue one. Like even if you write at the back also, it's the same thing. Okay, okay, that's all. But they got mentioned something, right? P is lesser than Q, right? So let's find out the Q. Okay, let's find out the Q, right? How to find Q? Q is actually the probability of failure. Probability of failure is you can take 1 minus P to get your Q, right? But since your P got 2 answers, then your Q must have 2 answers also. Then maybe some of you will say, hey, sir, the soalan tak suruh pun lah, you cari Q, kenapa you cari Q? Okay, I know dia tak suruh cari Q, but I need to cari Q so that I know which one is my P answer because they say P is less than Q, right? That is why even though the soalan tak suruh cari Q, I still find the Q because I want to compare which P answer will be lesser than Q. You faham kan? Then only I will know which one is the correct one. So let's go. P is 2 over 3, P is 1 over 3. So if my P is 2 over 3, my Q will be 1 over 3. Because if you press calculator, this one, you will get 1 over 3. But if my P is 1 over 3, then my Q will be 1 minus 1 over 3, which is 2 over 3. So it's very clear to me that the P answer should be, this one should be rejected. Do you understand? Because they already said P must be lesser than Q. But if you look at, wait, P must be lesser than Q. Oh, I reject the wrong one. Oh my God. What? Apa saya buat? Okay, I need to write everything again. Okay, let me write again. So this one 2 over 3, 1 over 3. This is 1 over 3, 2 over 3. So I reject the wrong one. I should reject this one. Sorry, I see that. Careless mistake. Because they say P less than Q, right? So if your answer is this one, your P is bigger than Q for this case because when your P is 2 over 3, your Q is 1 over 3, which that's why we reject this one, lah, right? Instead, we take this as my answer, right? So definitely the correct answer here is when P is 1 over 3, Q is 2 over 3, right? But they only ask you to find P, so I'm just going to write P is 1 over 3. Yeah, this is the only answer that makes sense because when P is 1 over 3, then Q is 2 over 3, it means P less than Q, right? But yang sebaliknya, kalau P 2 over 3, then Q will be 1 over 3, which is tak betul dah because they say P must be less than Q, but in this case, the P 2 over 3 is bigger than 1 over 3. Yeah, that's why we reject this answer. So this is the correct answer. Okay? All right, hope you understand. 3 marks for this. Okay, let's continue. Alright, number 2. This looks like a linear law question. Alright. So linear law memang chapter yang sangat common dalam exam. You need to master this chapter because it doesn't come out in paper 1 saja tau. Dia datang dekat paper 1, paper 2 also it comes out, right? Paper 2 they will ask you to draw graph usually. Okay, number 2, diagram 2 shows the graph of log y base 2 against log x base 2. So we actually know what is the y-axis, what is the x-axis. They gave us for free. And then they say passes through point 49. So okay, this passes through 49. But we need to know something. This 4 is actually not the xy, right? It's actually the log 2x, log 2y. That's what you need to know because the x-axis is not x, it's log x base 2. So yang tu kena tahu. And or you can use big X, capital letter X pun boleh. All right, and then there's another point here, -2, but it's -2, 0 lah. Okay. All right, now they say express small y in terms of small x. All right. Okay, macam mana nak buat? All right, you have to form the equation, right? You have to form the equation, right? Usually, for linear law question, they will give you a non-linear equation, and then you have to convert to linear form. Usually lah, for linear law question. But this question, they never give you any equation. They just suddenly say express y in terms of x. But let me tell you, first thing first is you need to find out the gradient and y-intercept for this line first. Okay, because you want to form the equation. But when you form the equation, you want it to be big Y equals to M big X plus C. The Y and X must put capital letter, because the Y and X is not actually Y and X, it's actually log Y and log X. That is why you have to use capital letter, right? And I always recommend students, yang Y, X ni you last kali baru ganti. First, you study the M and C first. So how to find the M gradient? Very simple, just take 2 coordinate and then take the Y minus Y, 9 minus 0, divide X minus X, 4 minus -2. So you end up with 9/6, which is same with 3/2, right? Then what about the y-intercept C? Very easy. If you want to find C, okay, since you already have your M3/2, you can sub inside. So it becomes big Y equals to M3/2 big X plus C, right? Okay, but a lot of students, they will try to ganti Y with the log Y base 2. I recommend jangan ganti dulu. Lepas you cari M and C baru ganti yang tu. Okay, so now in order to find C, C is the y-intercept and you don't have the y-intercept. The y-intercept is actually here, all right? It's actually here, this point. This is the y-intercept, right? And we don't have, okay, we don't know what's the point here. So kalau dia tak bagi macam ni, we have to sub the x and y inside to find the C, right? Because if you look at this equation, if you need C, you just need to have x and y, right? If you have the x and y, then you can find your C, right? So I'm just gonna sub the x and y, but you have to be careful. The x and y you have to sub with any point that passes through the line. So for this case, you can either sub 49 or -20. Both these points got passes through the line. Okay, let's sub the -20. So when you sub -2, it will go inside the x, and then when you sub 0, it's going to the y. All right, and then the 2 and -2 can cut left with -1. -1 times 3 is -3. Pindah here jadi 3 plus C. Okay, it means your C is 3 lah. Your C is 3. All right, so now you have your equation big Y equals to M3/2 big X plus C plus 3. It's very important to write in big capital letter, because if you write in small letter, it's not correct. Okay, so now what is the real Y-axis? The real Y-axis is log Y. And then what is your real X-axis? Log 2x. Now only I use the small, the small letter, right? Log Y base 2, log X base 2 plus 3. Okay, but they want the soalan ask you to find small y in terms of small x, so you still have to buat lagi. So still kena buat lagi. So macam mana? Okay, if you want y in terms of x, it means you only want y here. It means this log 2 you have to pindah sana. And what happens when you pindah log to the other side? The log base will become the number base, and this whole thing will become the power, right? But before I do that, I want to mention something here. If you have 3 power log 7. It means if you have any number and when you power log, and when the number base and the log base same, you can cut, and then the answer straight away is 7. All right, but only when you power log and the log base number base sama baru boleh. So I give you another example. Let's say the answer is 2 log 2 square root 5, right? So can you see when you power log and then the log base dengan number base kebetulan dia sama. All right, so then you can cut. So the answer is whatever here lah, is square root 5, right? But you can only cut when it's same, right? So I already let's come back to this question where I already know later I have to pinna the log base 2 to the other side, and then when it pinna, the log base will become the number base, and this whole thing will get pushed up, becomes the power. It will become the power. But before I change it become power, I will try to make this into a single log first. You understand? I will make this whole thing into a single log, and I want to make it in base 2 so that I can cut later. So let me show you how I will do it. First thing first, this 3 over 2, I'll bring it up here. Okay, it means that the log 2y is still log 2y, and then this thing I will bring the 302, it becomes power. Okay, you know this, right? You know kalau ada nombor depan boleh naik atas jadi power. And then the 3, instead of writing 3, it's because I know 3 times 1 is also 3, right? So I can actually write 3 as 3 log 22. Okay, because 3 log 22 is also 3, because log 22 is 1. Yeah, and then I will do the same thing. This 3, I will bring it up, becomes the power. All right, becomes the power like this. Okay, it means it will become log 2 power 3, and now I can combine, become single log, because they are separate log, same, and they are same base, and in the middle is plus, so I can make it into single log times. So it will be what times what? It will be x power 3 over 2 times with 2 power 3, but we all know 2 power 3 is 8, right? And on the other side is log 2y, right? And now you can pinna the log base to the other side, and when you pinna, the log base become the number base, and this whole thing becomes power, right? Becomes the power. So it becomes log 2 8x power 3 over 2, right? And then the 2 and 2 can cut, and then you left with this. So the answer is y equals 8x power 3 over 2. But do you know power 3 over 2 is actually same with power, is actually like this, power 3 power 1 over 2. And we all know power 1 over 2 is square root. So you can also write it like this. Okay, yeah, this is the answer. Okay, I want to mention something here. Sampai when you reach here, all right, some student they will say like, hey sir, you can compare, right? This one log, they are log equals to log, and both the log is same base, so we can straight away take the number here and the number here, and then straight away compare, and then take y equals 8x power 3 over 2. Can also, you'll get the same answer. Yeah, right, can also. But I think it's important to, how to say, to belajar this also lah, the one yang ni, right? Because this one not many students know this. Okay, so that's why I got explained also, and I hope you understand my explanation. Okay, I am looking at the schema. I know the schema right like this. Okay, the schema actually read like this, 8x power 3 over 2. But I want you to know this one and this one is the same thing. It's the same thing. So you nak tulis macam ni pun boleh, up to you. Okay, all right, that's all. Okay, let's go. Question number 3. Let's read the question. A coil of wire with the length of PCM is cut into 32 parts. Coil of wire with length PCM is 32 parts. So P is the total length, and it's cut into 32 parts, such that their lengths form an arithmetic progression. So the length of each part is not the same. So the setiap length wire tu tak sama, right? Ada yang pendek, ada yang paling pendek, ada yang panjang, ada yang paling panjang. Because if it forms arithmetic progression, means definitely the length is not the same. It is given that the length of the longest part is 105 cm and the sum of the length of 3 shortest part is 45 cm. Soalan A, find the length of shortest part. Okay, we already know they form a arithmetic progression. So let's imagine let's make the shortest wire the first length, right? Actually, we want to make the longest wire jadi first length pun boleh tau. Like the longest one to be the T1 can also. Okay, but I make the shortest one the T1, and then the panjang sikit punya is T2, and lagi panjang, and then so on. And then eventually you will reach the paling panjang punya lah. So I can write my A. A is my first term. First term, okay, actually I don't know, right? What's the first term? Yeah, we don't know. We don't know the first term. Okay. But we do know that the length of longest part is 105 cm. So we can say that T32 is 105 lah. Okay, for those who don't understand, it's because it's cut into 32 parts, right? It means the last part, which is the longest part, the 32nd part will be 105 cm lah. And then the sum of 3 shortest part is 45. Okay, shortest means the first 3 lah. It means S3 lah. S3 is 45. Or you can also write T1 plus T2 plus T3. Okay, T1 plus T2 is 45 like this, right? And then what about this P? I think this P is the SN. Yeah, the SN, because this P is actually the total length of the wire. Yeah, because it's the total length from T1, T2, T3 all add together until T32. That's why it's the S. S32 actually is not SN. Yeah, S32, sorry. Okay, S32. because we already know it's cut into 32 parts, right? Okay, now what we do? Soalan A, find the length of the shortest part, means they want to find the A lah. Okay, because I jadikan the shortest part the first term, right? So how to do this? Okay, first of all, we already know the T32 is 105, so you can use the Tn formula, A plus N minus 1D. This is the formula we will use later, the formula for arithmetic. And then for Sn later, we will use also, the formula is N over 2, 2A plus N minus 1D. So these are the two formulas we will be using for this question. So let's go, T32, it means A plus N minus 1, which is 31, D equals 105. Okay, this is my first equation. Okay, uh, the A and D, you don't have to sub anything because you don't know the A and D, right? You only know the N. That's why the N you sub with 32 minus 1. All right, what about the S3 equals 45? Okay, you can use this formula also. So now it becomes what? This one, it becomes N over 2, but the N is 3, right? So 3 over 2, big bracket, 2A, but the A we don't have, so we just write A saja, plus N minus 1, N is 3, so 3 minus 1, straight away write 2. D we don't know, so just write D equals to 45, right? Okay, sampai sini, you can simplify a bit, 2A plus 2D, okay? Okay, this 3 over 2, I will not expand inside, okay? Actually, you want to expand inside also can, but I will not do that, okay? That's how I teach in my class also. I always tell them, kalau boleh jangan kacau the number inside here, because if you darab masuk, this number will become another number, right? So it's always better to bring this 3 over 2 ke belakang, right? To pindah ke belakang, right? Actually, you want to darab masuk boleh juga, you will get the same answer, right? But I recommend you to do it like this, okay? All right, so 45, I have to times 2 divide 3, which is 30, okay? 45 times 2 divide 3. So you will get 30, yes. Okay, sampai sini, you can call this equation 2, this is equation 1, and both this equation we can do simultaneous. Simultaneous equation means you do the substitution method or elimination method, penggantian or penghapusan, right? So how you want to do penggantian, penghapusan? All right, let's say, okay, which method you want to use? For me, I will use penghapusan because I can see that this equation is AD and then number belakang. This one also AD number belakang. But the perkali tak sama lagi. The coefficient is not the same, right? The number in front of A is not same. This one is 1, this one is 2, this one 31, this one 2. So we still cannot do the penghapusan, the elimination. So what I have to do now, we can have to take equation 1 times 2 lah. To make the A jadi 2A, then baru saya boleh hapus. Baru saya boleh minus. Okay, there's actually another better way to do this. If you don't want to take equation 1 times 2, you can also take equation 2 divide 2. Yeah, can also, because kebetulan all these numbers here, they all can divide by 2. So let's do it like that. So equation 2 divide 2, you will get A plus D equals 15. And let's call this equation 3. And now equation 3 and equation 1, we hapus, right? So what is equation 3? A plus D equals 15. Equation 1, A plus 3D equals 105. And then garis. And since we tengah hapus A, okay, we are eliminating A, we will minus, okay, we will minus both equation, right? Because if you plus, then it becomes 2A already, okay? So remember, we will minus when the sign is same. Bila tanda dia sama, we will minus, okay? All right, so what is A minus A? 0. 1D minus 3D, negative 2D. 15 minus 105. Calculator, let me press. Okay, my calculator gives me negative 90. And then finally, your D will be 45. Right? The negative hilang already, because negative divided negative is positive. Okay, but they want the A, they don't want the D. So you still have to, you still haven't finished yet. You still have to sub inside this equation. It becomes A plus D equals 15. And then the D now you know is 45. So your A will be 15 minus 45, which is negative 30. So soalan A, find the length of the shortest part. Negative, wait, what? Negative 30. Is it possible for length to be negative? No, right? So it means I definitely made some mistake here. So dekat mana saya buat salah? 2A plus. Okay, ada tak saya buat salah? 2A plus 2D. 2A plus 2D equals to 45. Divide 315 times 230. This one correct. And then divide 2, divide 2, divide 2, right? 30 divide 2 is 15. I know where I did wrong already. Yeah, because it doesn't make sense, right? For the length to be negative. Yeah, it means definitely something wrong. And I know where I did wrong already. This one. This one is A plus 31D. But I write A plus 3D. That is why saya dapat jawapan yang negatif. So let me betulkan saya punya mistake. Okay. So okay, this one is 31D equals to 105. So the correct way is A minus A0, 1D minus 31D. This one you can press 1 minus 31, you will get negative 30D. And then 15 minus 105, you will get negative 90. Okay, negative 90. And then D equals to 90 divided 30, which is 90 divided is 3, right? It's 3, but the negative will hilang because negative you want negative is positive. And now when D equals to 3, now you can sub inside this equation. A plus D equals 15, but your D is 3. So A equals 15 minus 3, 12. So this is your correct answer. Okay. So when you find out the D, you can sub inside any equation you want. Equation 1 pun boleh, 2 pun boleh, 3 pun boleh, right? To find the A. Okay, so the soalan asks you to find length of shortest pipe. So I'll just write here, dot, 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 the length of shortest pipe is equals to 12 cm or centimeter or meter? Centimeter, right? Everything is in centimeter. So yeah, 4 marks for this. Okay. Okay, let's do B. B says what? Calculate the value of P. Well, very easy because P is actually the S32. We already know the A and D now. Now it's very easy already because my A is 12, D is 3. So my A is equals to 12, D is equals to 3. Now you want to find the P, right? But I already tell you P is actually the sum of the 32 wire add together because P is actually the total length. So I will just use SN formula. And what is the SN formula? Let me scroll up a bit. This one. This is the SN formula. So N over 2, so 32 over 2. And then big bracket 2A plus N minus 1D. So the A will be 12. The N minus 1 will be 32 minus 1, which is 31. D will be 3, like this. Now you will get 32 divided 2, which is 16. And then 2 times 12 plus 31 times 3, use calculator. 2 times 12 plus 31 times 3. Okay, if you press the whole thing inside the bracket, you will get 117. And then the final step is times with 16. Let me press. Okay, my calculator gives me 1872. Okay, but don't forget to write cm because this is the total length of wire, right? So yeah, that's all. So that's how you get full mark for this question. All right, hope you understand my working. Let's continue. Okay, number 4. This looks like a indices third logarithm punya soalan. Let's do A first. Simplify this whole thing. Okay, so 8 power x minus 1 divide 32 power x into this form such that P and N are integers. Hey, what is integer? Integer means it's a number macam 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 macam tu. Then we call it integer. Okay, it means number tak boleh ada fraction, tak boleh ada decimal. Tak boleh pecahan, tak boleh ada titik perpuluhan. Then it's called integer, right? Negative number is also integer. Okay, but just make sure tak ada fraction, tak ada decimal. Okay, tak ada fraction, tak ada decimal. And the answer have to look like this. Alright, so first thing first, when we are doing integers question ataupun log question, it's always the same thing. Always tukar jadi same base. Always tukar jadi same base. Because if it's not same base, then there is nothing you can do, right? So we have to tukar jadi same base. But I will show you how to tukar jadi same base. You just change the 8 and 32 to the smallest base, right? To the smallest base. So let me ask you one thing. Base 8, can I change to any smaller base? If can, you have to change to the smaller base. But actually, the smallest base, you kena tukar jadi base yang the smallest, paling kecil. So base 8, base 8, you can change to what base? Base 2, all right? Some of you might tell me base 4. Hey, wrong. Base 8 cannot change to base 4, okay? Because 4 power 1 is 4, 4 power 2 is 16. So 8 is not here. 8 cannot change to base 4, but can change to base 2 because 2 power 3 is 8, right? Then what about the x minus 1? You can write bracket and then write beside the x minus 1 like this, right? Okay, divide. Okay, 32 can change to what base? Base 2. Okay, base 2 also because 32 yang base paling kecil boleh tukar jadi base 2, right? And 2 power 5 is 32. If you don't believe me, just press 2 power 5 in your calculator. Then you will get 32. And don't forget, you have to write bracket power x because there is power x here. And now you need to know if you have power side by side like this, you have to times them. You have to darab. So it becomes 3 times x minus 1 becomes 3x minus 3 like this. And then divide. 2 power 5 times x is 5x. Okay, now we have two numbers with same base, and then tengah-tengah is bahagi. So when we have same base, bahagi dengan same base, we can take the power we have to minus. Okay, bila ada dua nombor yang same base bahagi, kita power kena minus, kena tolak. So it becomes 2 power 3x minus 3 minus 5x. So now you get your final answer. It becomes 2 power 3x minus 5x, that's going to be negative 2x minus 3. But I remember this question, they want me to write my answer in a very specific form. They want me to write like this. So can you tell me how to convert my answer now to this form? So you can see that the 2 power duduk dekat bawah, right? Duduk dekat bawah. This one is like duduk dekat atas. So how can I make it supaya dia duduk bawah? Okay, very easy. If you want to the duduk bawah, okay, you can hantar these two ke bawah. But what happens to the power? The power have to tukar tanda. It means the 2x minus 3 become 2x plus 3. And then there's nothing atas means to satu. Okay, I repeat one more time. When we have, like for example, a power negative m, right? And the power is negative, we tak suka, we can letak bawah. But when we letak bawah, base dia tetap sama. The base will not change. Okay, only the power will tukar tanda. Tukar tanda means negative jadi positive macam ni. And then nothing up is like this. Macam ni, right? So I'm just doing the same thing here, right? I letak bawah, base tak tukar, base is still the same, but the power tukar tanda already. It means the negative 2x become 2x minus 3 jadi 3. And then atas tulis 1. But I think it still doesn't look like the form yang dia nak kita tulis, because the form they want to write is like this. 1 over p. There is a number in front here, right? And then they want the 2 power to have x, be in terms of x, right? So I think I have to separate this. Okay, separate this. So let me tell you the formula I'll use to separate. So we know there's a formula that looks like this. A power m times a power n equals to a power m plus n. It means when we have same base, darab, the power we have to plus, right? That is why just now, when we do this one, same base divide, that's why we take the power minus, right? Yeah, it's the same concept, okay? But now, instead of doing it times jadi plus, I have to do it in reverse. It means I have to tukar from here to here. Because if you look at this, this is 2 power 2x plus 3, and I want to separate them. So when I separate, it becomes 2 power 2x times 2 power 3. All right? It's actually the same formula. I just do it in reverse. Okay? It means from a power m plus n, I tukar jadi a power m times a power n. So from 2 power 2x plus 3, I tukar jadi 2 power 2x times 2 power 3. And the reason why is because I want my answer to look like this later. So now you can write it like this. 1 over, okay, I'll write the 2 power 3 first. But 2 power 3 is 8, right? And then baru saya tulis 2 power 2x. All right? And let me tell you, this is your final answer, because this looks exactly like this form. 1 over p 2 power nx. You see? 1 over p 2 power nx. And it means p is 8 lah. When you compare p is 8 and then the n is 2. But they only ask you to write in this form, right? They never say find value of p, find value of n. So I will just stop here. All right? But you have to be careful, because sometimes the soalan might ask you to find the value of p and n. Okay, if the soalan asks you to find p and n, then you have to write p equals 8, n equals 2, like that, right? But this question, they just want you to write it in that form, so you don't have to, it means you can stop here. Yeah, it means you finish already. Okay, so you will get 3 marks. Okay, now we do B. Okay, this looks like a third question to me. Let's read. A cylinder has a radius of 1 over cert2 minus 1 cm and a height of h cm. So cylinder, let's draw it out. The reason why I draw is because it's easier for me to imagine, right? Okay, so the radius, what is the radius? The radius means the length from the center to the side of the circle. So this length is 1 over cert2 minus 1. And then the height is h cm. So the height here is h. It is given that the volume of cylinder is this one. Calculate the volume of h. Calculate the value of h in terms of a plus cert b. So they give us the information here is volume, right? So I'll write down volume equals to pi bracket 7 plus 5 square root 2 cm cube. Okay, first thing first. What is the volume of cylinder formula? If you don't know the volume of cylinder formula, you cannot do this question. The formula is pi r square h, where r is the radius, h is the height. Or some of you learn in Bahasa Melayu, it will be pi j kuasa 2t. J is the jari radius, T is the tinggi, but it's the same thing, right? It's the same formula. So what you have to do now, you have to apply this formula and then take the whole thing equals to this, right? So the volume of cylinder is pi r square h. So the pi R will be this one, 1 over 2 minus 1. So I'll open a bracket, 1 over square root 2 minus 1, and then close bracket square, because the formula got square, and then times with the height. But the height they never give, right? They just say h. So I'm just gonna write h, and then this whole thing equals to the volume that the soalan give me, pi 7 plus 5 square root 2, right? And then now we can try to find h, because the soalan asked me to find h, but my answer have to look like this. It has to be in this form, a plus square root b. It means I might need to rationalize later, because the form here tak ada fraction one, right? Everything is like duduk atas, so I might need to rationalize later. Tak apa, kita terus buat dulu. So first thing first, they want to find h, right? It means I want h to be single, right? I want h to be single. So what I will do now, I will leave the h here, and then this pi I will move it there. So now it becomes what? It becomes pi bahagi pi. So boleh potong. So you tinggal with 7 plus 5 square root 2. Okay. This whole thing divide with 1 over square root 2 minus 1 square, like this. Okay. But I will not divide first. I will square first. Yeah, we always buat yang ada, kalau ada power, kita buat power dulu. So h equals this 7 plus 5 square root 2, leave it first. We will square this first. So don't divide first, square first. So what happens when we square this? Okay, when we square this, it means kita square atas and we square bawah. So what is one square? It means atas kena square, bawah pun kena square. All right. So it's actually like this. Okay, let me erase and write nicely. So it's actually like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay. Yeah, see, atas kena square, bawah pun kena square. That's what it means by one square square root 2 minus, like this, right? So what is one square? One lah. One square is one. And then what about yang bawah, yang ni square, square root 2 minus 1? Okay, a lot of students will make this mistake. They will take square root 2 square, and then they will write 2, and then they will take negative 1 square, which is positive 1, and then they just stop here. This is wrong. This is wrong. Okay. When you take square root 2 minus 1 square, the correct way to to expand this is you have to take square root 2 minus 1, multiply with square root 2 minus 1, like this. So it becomes square root 2 times square root 2, 2, square root 2 times negative 1, negative square root 2, negative 1 times square root 2, negative square root 2, negative 1, positive 1. And then this one will become negative 2 square root 2. So the answer would be 2 minus 2 square root 2 plus 1. 2 minus 2 square root 2 plus 1. Macam ni. Okay, this is the correct way to expand. Okay, but there's actually a fast way lah. You just square depan, and then depan darab belakang darab 2, and then belakang square. All right, but you want to do it slowly like this can also. Okay, all right, hope you understand. Now let's continue. Now it becomes h equals 7 plus 5 square root 2. Now we can do the bahagi one, but the bahagi boleh tukar jadi terus tulis macam ni pun boleh kan? Because when you bahagi dengan, oh wait, let me think. Bahagi boleh tukar jadi darab, right? Ya, boleh tukar jadi times. Okay. And then when you tukar jadi times, it becomes 1 over, sorry. Because when you tukar jadi times, you have to terbalik, right? Have to terbalik. So the 1 duduk bawah already. And then the 2 plus 1 boleh buat. So 2 plus 1 jadi 3 minus 2 square root 2. And then the over 1 tak payah tulis. Yeah, because over 1 tak tulis pun tak apa. So now it becomes like this already, right? This one got bracket, this one got bracket, right? So now you can find your h already. Just expand. Just expand this, then you get the answer already. So when we expand, we have to expand one by one lah. 7 times 3, 21. 7 times negative 2 square root 2. Okay, remember, number hanya boleh darab dengan number. And square root hanya boleh darab dengan square root. It means when you take the 7 darab here, the negative 2 times 7 become negative 14. But the square root 2, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen to the square root 2. Because number hanya boleh darab dengan number. Square root hanya boleh darab dengan square root. Right? Okay, next one. 5 square root 2 times 3. It will be plus, okay, 5 darab 3 dapat 15, and then square root 2, nothing will happen to the square root. Okay, because only number darab number saja. Okay, last one, 5 square root 2 times negative 2 square root 2. And remember, number can only times with number, square root can only times with square root. So 5 can only times with negative 2, become negative 10. And then the square root 2 can only times with square root 2, which will give you 2. Okay, square root 2 times square root 2 is 2. Okay, sampai sini you get h equals, okay, negative 10 times 2 is negative 20. And then 21 minus 20 is 1, right? And then what about this one? Okay, this one you can solve easily because negative 14 square root 2 plus 15 square root 2, can you see they both have square root 2? So you can actually factorize out the square root 2 like this, right? And when you factorize out, you're left with negative 14 plus 15 here. Because they both have square root 2, right? So you pull out the square root 2. So now you get your h answer. It will be 1 Okay, what is negative 14 plus 15? 1 also. So it becomes 1 plus 1 square root 2. But the 1 tak tulis pun tak apa. Because square root 2 times 1 is also square root 2. So that's why I never write. So the answer is 1 plus square root 2. So yeah, the soalan wants me to write in this form, right? So yeah, this is exactly the form they want. So the answer is 1 plus square root 2. And since this one is the height of cylinder, I'm just going to put bracket and write cm here. Okay? Because it represents height, right? So yeah, that's all. That's the answer. Sudah siap. 3 marks. Very easy, yeah? Okay, let's continue with number 5. Okay, what chapter is this? Let's read the question first. It is given a straight line y equals mx minus m. So this is the straight line equation. Intersects the curve. Okay, so this is the curve equation. So we have two equations. One is straight line equation, one is curve equation. At two different points, find the range of values of m. Okay, I already know this is from 4 chapter 2 quadratic chapter, and it's under 2.2 type of roots. Okay, because chapter 2 got, from 4 chapter 2 got 3 subtopic, right? 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. This is under 2.2 type of roots. And they got say intersect at two different points. It means the keyword here is two different points, and whenever you intersect two different points, you have to do b square minus 4ac bigger than 0. Okay, b square minus 4ac bigger than 0. But before you do the b square minus 4ac, you need to take these two equations, combine these two equations into one equation first. Then only you can do the b square minus 4ac. But how can we combine these two equations into one? Very easy. You just use the substitution method, because this one is already y equals to something, y equals to something. So you can straight away write y equals to y, and then the first y you can write 2x squared plus 3x minus 3, and then the other y you can write mx minus m. And you just susun jadi general form. Then baru you buat b squared minus 4ac bigger 0. Alright. So I'm gonna repeat one more time how to macam mana nak buat soalan macam ni. So remember, if the soalan give you satu equation curve and satu equation straight line, you will always do simultaneous first. After we do simultaneous, then baru kita tengok soalan cakap two different points, 1 point, or does not touch. If they say two different points, then you do b squared minus 4ac bigger 0. If they say does not touch, you will do b squared minus 4ac smaller 0. Right? If they say touches at 1 point, then you do b squared minus 4ac equals 0. Right? But the first step is always how to say, combine these two equations into one equation first. Okay, means we do simultaneous, right? And we want to do elimination pun boleh tau. Yeah, or substitution pun boleh lah. Okay. Alright, so after you reach here, susun jadi general form. General form means everything on one side equals 0. So I will write 3x, and I will pindah the mx now become minus mx. And then the negative 3, okay, the minus m also I pindah lah, jadi plus m, and then minus 3 equals 0. Okay, this is not general form actually, because when it's general form, you can determine the A, B, and C. But if you look at this, the X ada dua kali, because general form usually X squares only appear one time, and then X only appear one time, and then C equals 0. This is general form, right? But when your X ada dua macam ni, then what you have to do? You have to factorize lah. You have to pull out the X. So what I will do is I will pull out the X dekat belakang, and then sini dalam bracket saya akan tulis 3 minus M. Okay, because I take out the x from both of these terms, and then now it becomes plus m minus 3 equals 0. So now this is a general form. We can see what's our a, b, and c. So now we can do the b squared minus 4ac bigger 0. Why bigger 0? Because two different points. Okay, two different points, right? If it's one touches at 1 point, then b squared minus 4ac equals 0, right? But this one is bigger 0. So now I will just sub my b inside, sub my a inside, and then sub my c inside, bigger 0. Okay, my b is 3 minus m. My a is 2, my c is m minus 3. So just expand this whole thing lah. Okay, the fastest way to expand this is actually to take depan square, 3 square, 9, and then depan darab belakang darab 2. So 3 times negative m is negative 3m, darab 2 is negative 6m, and then last step is belakang square, jadi plus m square. Okay, ataupun kalau you tak nak buat macam ni, you want to do slowly like this, 3 minus m, 3 minus m, darab, boleh juga you dapat sama. Okay, but I will not waste your time. Alright, let's continue. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 times m, negative 8m, and then negative 8 times negative 3, positive 24. Bigger than 0. Okay, okay, sampai sini saya nampak ada square. So when that other square means it becomes a quadratic. And when it's a quadratic, you have to pindah everything to one side equals 0, and then susun jadi general form. So m square have to susun tulis dulu lah. And then negative 6m minus 8m is negative 14m. And then the last one you have to write the number. 9 plus 24 is 32. 30, I don't know, let's press calculator, 24 plus 9. Okay, my calculator give me 33, so positive 33. And then don't forget to write bigger 0. Okay, to be specific here, this is not a quadratic equation. Yeah, it's not a quadratic equation. It's a quadratic inequalities. Because it's a quadratic, because power 2, but it's inequality because it's not equal 0, it's bigger 0. So for this question, later you have to sketch. Okay, for quadratic inequality, memang you kena lorek, I mean lorek pula. You kena laka graph tu, you kena sketch, and then lorek, and then shade the region, right? But let's get the two answer first. So we have to use calculator to dapatkan two answers, right? But when you get the two answers, you realize I never write bigger here. I write equals. Memang you kena tulis equal dulu. Tak apa, kita tekan dulu. So what is the A? 1. What's the B? Negative 14. What's the C? 33. So I'm pressing my calculator. My calculator gives me 11 and 3. So the first M answer 11, the second answer 3. It means atas ni saya kena tulis apa? Bracket, bracket. Okay, positive 11 become minus 11, plus 3 become minus 3. And then don't forget, this one is bigger 0. Here also you write bigger 0, right? If it's equal 0, then you write equal 0 lah. Alright, but here memang kena tulis equals. You don't tell me like, oh sir, this one also write bigger, bigger like this, and then sudah siap. No, no, no. This is wrong. Okay. For quadratic inequality is, kalau sini bigger, apa yang awak kena buat? You have to write equals here and you have to use the graph sketching method. You have to sketch the graph and then you have to write, label this number with the two answer here. So the small number you write in front, 3, the big number you write here, 11. And then you have to lorek, you have to shade the region. But which region you have to shade? Okay, look at the baris. Baris pula. Look at the bracket punya baris. So look at this baris. So kalau bracket yang baris yang ada bracket, kalau ini bigger it means you have to shade this side and this side. Kalau dia bigger lah. Tapi kalau smaller, you will shade bawah tengah macam ni, right? So when you shade these two sides, then it means your answer will be M smaller than 3, comma, M bigger than 11. Okay, so this is how to do this question. Okay, so n lesser than 3, n bigger than 11, because you shade here and here, right? But what if this one is smaller? Then you shade here, then your answer will be different already. If it's smaller, your answer will look like this, m in between 3, 11 like this. All right, kalau smaller lah, then the answer will look like this. Okay, all right, hope you understand my explanation. It's very simple actually. You just have to do more exercise and then you will get better. Okay, let's continue. Okay, let's continue. Number 6. Let's read the question. A golf player hits a golf ball 3 meters on the left side of hole A. Okay, the locus. Okay, what is locus? Locus means movement. Okay, movement. So the movement of golf ball is given by fx equals to this equation. But we can see this equation is not complete, right? Because the P and Q tak bagi, such that PQ are constant. Okay, and x is the horizontal displacement of the golf ball from hole A. So it means x is the horizontal distance from the golf ball A. Okay, and then it says the golf ball falls to the ground again 10 meters towards the right from where the ball was hit. Okay, this is definitely a quadratic question, but it's very difficult question because they never give me any diagram. They just mention it in a paragraph. So the best way to do this kind of question is draw it out. You know, just draw it out. So first of all, we all know that the graph equation, the A is negative, right? So definitely the golf ball, the movement of the golf ball is like this, right? Because when the A is negative, then it will look like this, like a curve, but it's like an N-shaped curve, right? Because the A is negative, okay? And then they say the golf player, the ball is at 3 meters on the left side of hole A. So what I'm gonna do now is I will draw a N-shaped curve like this, right? And then I will draw the x-axis, okay? And there will be two x-intercept. Okay, there will be two x-intercept. One x-intercept, this one will be where the ball start. This is when the ball, you haven't hit the ball, right? This is when you haven't hit the ball, right? And then another x-intercept, this will be after the ball reach the ground, right? Reach the ground. And they got mentioned, right? The golf ball falls to the ground 10 meters towards the right from where the ball was hit. So it means that the distance here to here must be 10 meters. Okay, yeah, but where is the origin? Where is the 0, 0? Okay, let's read again. A golf player hits a goal 3 meters on left side of hole A. So we can make this hole A the origin.
origin means the center lah, the 0, 0. So what I can do is, if the ball is on the left side of origin, it means the origin must be on the right side, right? The origin must be here. It means your y-axis must be here, right? Lebih kurang. So now, if this is point A, this is 0, 0, it means this ball is at -3 because it's on 3 meter on the left side. That's why it's -3, right? And then what happens? The locus of the ball is given by this equation. So this equation is the equation of the curve lah, such that PQ are constant. X is the horizontal distance of ball from hole A. Okay. The golf ball falls to the ground 10 meter towards right from where the ball was hit. Okay. So it means this one is 7 lah. Okay. Okay. Some of you might go and write 10. Okay. Some of you might say like, hey, sir, it's 10 meter, right? Because you say 10 meter towards right. No, no, no. Read carefully. It's 10 meter towards right from where the ball was hit, not from the hole A. It's from the where the ball was hit. So that's why this one is 7. And how you get the 7 is -3 plus 10. Okay, -3 plus 10, you get 7. Okay, so I already successfully convert this whole paragraph into a diagram. So now we can start to do a find the value of P and Q. It means find the equation lah. Yeah, because the P and Q is in the equation. So let's write down the equation. Fx equals to -1/2 x squared plus px plus 2q. Okay, there's actually two methods that you can do this question. First is by using the Sawpore method, because you already know the x-intercept is -3 and 7, right? So you can use the Sawpore method. What is the Sawpore method? When you take the sum of roots, it means -3 plus 7 equals to -b over a. And then product of root means -3 times 7 equals c over a. You can use that method to find P and Q, right? And then the second method is you have to sub the x coordinate and the y coordinate inside. Because if you imagine you want to find P and Q, you just need to have x and y. And you have to sub a point, ganti satu point yang ada passes through lah. And the point that you can use here is -3, 0 and 7, 0. And then you sub inside and then do simultaneous, right? So I repeat again the two method I mentioned. First method, using Sawpore method. The second method is sub any 2 points that passes through inside the equation. Why I have to sub 2 points? Because if you sub 1 point, you cannot find PQ, because you have to do simultaneous. Yeah, because got 2 unknowns left. That's why I have to sub 2 times, okay, and then do simultaneous, right? But I'm just gonna use the Sawpore method, right? Okay, but before using Sawpore, you have to make sure your equation is in general form. So this is already in general form. And then what is the x1? -3. What is the x2? 7. All right. This -3 and 7 is the x-intercept, right? But we also call it roots sometimes. Okay, roots and x-intercept is the same meaning. Okay, after you sampai sini, now you can do the Sawpore method. Okay, what is the formula for SAW? The formula for SAW is when you take the sum of roots, x1 plus x2, you will get -b over a. And then the formula for POR, product of roots, is when you take the product, x1 times x2, you will get c over a. So these two formula, we will use it for this question. So SAW, -3 plus 7, x1 plus x2, okay, equals to -b over a. And what is the b? P is your a. Sorry, P is your b. Right? So the formula is -b over a. So the b is the coefficient of x, which is p. Divide by a, which is -1/2. Negative divide negative, positive. P divide 1/2 is 2p. And then the other side is 4. Right? -3 plus 7 is 4. So now you can find your p. It's 4 divide 2, which is 2. Sudah siap lah. Now we do POR. And the formula for POR is x1 times x2 equals c over a. So -3 times 7 equals to c over a. What is the c? 2q over a, which over -1/2. Okay, the answer will be in negative, right? Because positive number divide negative number, you get negative number. And then what is 2q divide 1/2? 2 divide 1/2 means 2 times 2, so 4q. Okay, 2 divide 1/2 means 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. And then the q, just write it beside. Okay, after you get the POR on the product on the other side, here you can calculate -3 times 7 is -21. This one you can use calculator lah. So now you can find your Q, it's 21/4, right? So that would be the answer lah. P is 2, 21/4. Okay, so that's how you do soalan A. All right, but if you use the other method to do, you will get the same answer also. Okay, but that one you have to sub the -3, 0 and 7, 0 inside the equation to find PQ lah. And that one have to use simultaneous. Okay, can also, you will get the same answer. Okay, let's continue with B. Find the maximum height that the golf ball reached. What is maximum height? Maximum height means you need to find the maximum point punya y coordinate. Not the x coordinate, the y coordinate. Maximum height means the y coordinate. Because if you find the x coordinate, you are just finding the distance here. which I don't want. I want the height. Do you know what is height? The tinggi. So tinggi mestilah jarak sini sampai sini. So what I need is the y coordinate, right? What I need is the y coordinate, not the x coordinate, because x coordinate will only tell you the horizontal distance. I want the vertical distance. That's the height. So what I have to do now, I have to find the maximum point, and my answer will be the y coordinate of the maximum point, right? So I repeat one more time. Maximum height means you kena cari maximum point punya y coordinate, right? But you need to find the whole coordinate lah. Okay. Okay. So how to find the coordinate? Very easy. There is a few method you can use. First method is completing the square. It means you can take this equation, and then but you already know P and Q, right? P is 2, Q is this, sub inside here, and then do completing the square, change to vertex form. After change to vertex form, take out your turning point, and then you can know the full coordinate of the turning point. Then you can take out the y coordinate, then that would be the answer, right? But there is also another method you can use, which is by finding the x-intercept and then take the x-intercept bahagi 2. All right. So the method I just mentioned just now is actually faster. You can straight away take negative 3 and 7 because this 2 is the x-intercept, right? You plus together, divide 2. Okay, because you want to get the middle. So when you take negative 3 plus 7, you get 4 divided 2 is 2. It means the x coordinate is 2 already. The x coordinate of the turning point is 2. And then to get the y coordinate, you just sub inside your original equation. Fx, which is f2, equals to negative 1 over 2 x squared plus px plus 2q. All right. And don't forget the p and q you sudah ada. What is the p and q? P is 2, q is 21 over 4. All right. So that is why your equation will be like this, right? So we can just refer here px. That's why it's 2, p is 2, right? So 2x and then 2q. 2q, q is 21 over 4. And then what about here? This one is 2, this one is 2, because this one is x, right? So you can just tekan calculator, all this, and then you will get the y coordinate. So 2 squared is 4, 4 divided negative 2, negative 2, negative 2 plus 4 plus 42 divided 4. Okay, my calculator give me 25 over 2. All right, 25 over 2. It means, what is your maximum point? What is your maximum point? Your maximum point would be 225 over 2. But this is not your final answer. They want the maximum height. So what is the maximum height? Can you tell me what is the maximum height? You will only take the y coordinate. It means 25 over 2. Okay. And the unit is in meter, I think. Is it? Yeah, everything is in meter in the soalan. So this will automatically be in meter also. All right. So this is how you solve this question. All right. So I hope you understand. But there's actually a few other ways to do the B question. You can also do vertex form, like I mentioned just now. Do completing the square, change to vertex form. But you need to sub the P and Q value inside first lah. Then only you do completing the square, change to vertex form. Or there's one more way where you can use this formula, x equals negative b over 2a, to find the turning point. Yeah, can also. If you use this formula, you will get the same answer, right? It's just that I go with this method. But if you do like that, you will get the same answer also. All right. I think that's good enough. I hope you understand. Okay, let's continue. Number 7. Let's read the question. It is given that ABCD is a parallelogram. If it's parallelogram means the opposite sides will be parallel and sama panjang. All right, and then they say vector BC is KI minus J. CD is negative 4I plus KJ. Find the length of diagonal AC in terms of K. Okay, how to find the length of diagonal? Okay, first of all, length. Length means magnitude. Let me tell you, this is a coordinate vector question. Okay, why I can tell this is a coordinate vector question is because look at the vector. They are all in terms of ij, ij, ij. And you need to know vector I is for pergerakan yang kiri kanan. And vector J is for pergerakan yang atas bawah. Alright, and when it's ij, definitely this happens in a Cartesian plane. It means this is a coordinate vector. So, and they already mentioned it's a parallelogram. So if I draw it out, and we label it ABCD, we will label it like this, ABCD. Or maybe some students say, hey, sir, what if I label like this, ABCD? Can also. Can also. All right? Can also. All right? Yang penting is you jangan label macam ni. You jangan label macam ni. ABCD. Yang ni memang salah. Because A tak ada. Because if you want, if they say ABCD is a parallelogram, it means A kena sambung to B, B kena sambung C, C kena sambung D. If you label like this, A tak ada sambung B, right? It means this one, we call it parallelogram ACBD. We don't call it ABCD, we call it ACBD. You faham, That is why the labeling, make sure you can start from any point you want, but make sure you A ada sambung B, B ada sambung C, C ada sambung D macam ni, right? And let's start to label. BC vector is Ki minus J. And let me tell you, if this vector is Ki minus J, this opposite vector will be it will be Ki minus J also. Why they have the same vector? Because when two lines parallel, parallel means same direction, parallel and sama panjang. It means automatic they will have the same vector. And these two lines memang dia parallel and sama panjang. You know why? Because it's a parallelogram, right? Same with the vector CD. Vector CD means the arrow have to point down lah, because it's C to D, right? It's negative 4i plus kj. And means from B going down to A, it will be same also, negative 4i plus kj. And the reason is because dia sama panjang and parallel dengan vector, this vector. So these two vector, they are parallel, they have same direction, and also they are sama panjang. That's why they have the same vector. Okay, after you bought sampai sini, now it's very easy to find vector AC. But don't forget, they want the magnitude. They don't want the vector, they want the magnitude. But it's okay, you find vector AC first. So how to find vector AC? Very easy. Just take vector AB plus BC. Okay? Or you can also say vector AB plus AD. Can also, because AB plus AD and BC is the same thing. Right? Yeah, so yeah, it's the same thing. So I'm just gonna write AB plus BC. So AB vector is what? 4i minus kj. You have to tukar tanda, because this one, negative 4i plus kj is vector BA. But I want AB. So if I terbalikkan the arrow, it means I have to tukar tanda. So that's why negative 4 become 4, positive k become minus k. And don't forget to plus with vector BC. This one no need to tukar tanda lah, because the arrow is already from B to C. So this one is ki minus j. But I don't like when the answer is like this. I like to yang I letak sekali, yang J letak sekali. So 4i plus ki, it means here is 4 plus k. Negative kj minus j means this one is negative k minus 1. Right? It means you just factorize aja lah. Okay, sampai sini, you can find the magnitude. Okay, they ask for the length, they never ask for the vector. So how to find magnitude? Okay, there is a formula you can use for magnitude. If you want to find magnitude of AC, the formula is square root, bracket square, plus bracket square. And inside the bracket, you have to letak the number, what you have to letak in the bracket? The coefficient of ij. You kena letak nombor depan ij. So apa nombor depan ij sekarang? 4 plus k and negative k minus 1. Okay. Kenapa kita buat macam ni is because when you find magnitude, it means you tengah cari panjang dia lah. Right? And since I is the horizontal movement, J is the vertical movement, that's why you will use Pythagoras theorem to find the hypotenuse. That's why it's square root, yang ni square tambah yang ni square. And that's the reason. Okay, now we can just simplify this whole thing, then you will get the answer. So 4 plus k squared. Should we expand this? Let's expand this. So you will the correct way to expand is you take the depan square, 4 square, 16, and then depan darab belakang darab 2, 4 times k times 2 is 8k, and then belakang square plus k square. Okay, let's do again. This one, the correct way to expand is to take depan square, negative k square is k square. Depan darab belakang darab 2, you will get negative k times negative 1 is positive k, and then times 2 positive 2k, and then belakang square is positive 1. And then sampai sini, you will get square root, k square plus k square, 2k square, 8k plus 2k, 10k, 16 plus 1, 17. And I think this is the answer. Yeah, because they say find magnitude in terms of k, right? And yeah, this is the answer. Because this is the simplest form already. You can't do anything to this. Okay? Even if you can factorize also, I don't think you should do that. So yeah, this is the answer. Okay? So that's all. Yeah, this is the magnitude. Okay, let's continue. Okay, number 8. Just from the diagram, I can already tell this is a circular measure question. Okay, so let's read. Diagram 8 shows two sector, PQR, SQT. So PQR is a sector, SQT is a sector. What is a sector? Sector means sector is a shape that consists of 3 lines: radius, radius, and arc. And you need to know the radius mesti sama panjang one. Okay, so sector mesti consists of 3 lines. So let's see. They say PQR is a sector. It means if I take out the PQR, it will look like this. Like this, like this, like this. This is P, this is Q, this is R. And guess what? PQ and PR mesti sama panjang because they are both radius. And what do we call this? We call this the arc, right? We call this the arc. All right, let's see what else. SQT. SQT is another sector. So I'm going to take out the SQT sector. You know why? Because these two sector, they already overlap in this diagram. They overlap each other. And when they overlap, it's like very hard to see which one is the radius, right? That's why I try to pecahkan dia. I try to separate them. So SQT is another sector. So this is S, this is Q, this is T, and it's very obvious these two lines is the radius. So they will be sama panjang also, and this is the arc. Okay, let's keep reading. The radii means radius lah of the sector PQR is 13.21. So this is 13.21, 13.21, and I will label in the original diagram also 13.21. But here is from here to here, the 13.21, like this, right? And then the 8 cm is the radius of SQT. So SQT, this one is 8, this one is 8, means here is 8. ST is also 8, right? So how do we label this? Okay, I'm just gonna label up here lah. So this is 8 from S to T, and then this one is from P to R. That is why I separate it into two different diagrams because they overlap each other. That's why. All right, let's keep reading and see what else. It is given that S is the midpoint of straight line PRT. Wow, S is the midpoint of PRT. It means this is 8 also lah. Because if S is at in middle, it means jarak sini kena jarak sini sama lah. So this one is 8 also. And if this is 8, it means I can find the distance here. How to find distance here? 13.21 minus 8. So if you press, I believe you get 5.21. Let's try. So yeah, you get 5.21. So that would be the distance from S to R. And then you can also calculate the distance of RT, which is 8 minus 5.21. So 8 minus answer, you will get 2.79. It means this small distance here is 2.79. Right? Okay, after filling up all this, okay, there's still another information. Angle QPR is 0.6 radian. QPR, this one is 0.6. And I will also label in my own diagram here, 0.6. Okay. And let me tell you something. You can actually find the angle here. You will take 0.6 times 2. Okay. Let me tell you why. Because if you look at this, all right, wait, actually no lah. Yeah, can. Because if I complete this circle, it will look like this, right? And you need to know this angle is from QT tarik here, right? And if you look at this angle, is also QT arc tarik. But satu tarik dekat on the side, satu tarik dekat center of circle. It means from QT tarik to, from the QT arc tarik to P is 0.6. But from QT tarik to the center S, it will be 1.2. It will be 0.6 times 2 because the angle at center is always double, is always twice the side angle, right? So what I'm trying to tell you here is you sebenarnya boleh cari angle sini. The angle here will be 1.2 radian because you will take 0.6 times 2. Okay, 0.6 times 2. You learn this in mathematics. Okay, like for example, if I give you something like this, right? This angle, if this angle is x, this angle is 2x, right? Why? Because let's call this AB. Can you see this point? This point C is from AB tarik to C, right? This O is also from AB tarik to here. Yeah, tarik to here, right? So AB tarik to C, and C is at the side of circle. AB tarik to O is at the center, and the center angle must be twice bigger one, right? So it's the same concept actually. You're using the same concept. All right, so let's erase this. Now we can do A lah. All right, so A says what? Calculate the length of QT. Length of QT. So where is length in cm of arc length of QT? Where is it? So QT is this one, right? Okay, we can refer this diagram also. So what is the formula to find length of arc? S equals R theta, right? This is the formula. And we want to find the arc, means we want to find the S lah. And what is the radius? 8 cm times with theta. The theta is not 0.6. Tengok betul-betul. The theta is at here. So the theta here should be 1.2 radian. And I already explained how you get the 1.2. It's 0.6 times 2. Okay. So yeah, that's why it's 8 times 1.2. So the answer is 9.6. And don't forget to write cm because this is the arc length. So that's the answer. Let's continue with B, area of shaded region. Okay, to get the area of shaded region, you must take something minus something because this region, this shape is a very weird shape. Okay, you never learn also there's no name for this shape. Okay, and you never learn any formula to find area yang shape yang bentuk macam ni. So you have to take something minus something, right? So let me tell you what I will do now. I will first take the area. Okay, some student might tell me something like this, some student might say, oh sir, very easy, this one cover this one, take the area of sector area of big sector minus area of small sector. This is wrong. This is wrong because this is not a sector. You see this one? This is not a sector because sector mesti ada dua radius. You see this panjang is 8. This panjang is 5.21. So this is not even a sector. So there is no formula you can use to find the area of this part. So you cannot tell me, oh sir, take the area of big sector minus, it's not possible. Okay, because the small one, the one yang you tambah is not a sector. Then macam mana nak buat? Okay, I think there's only one method. You have to take area of, let's see, uh, area of, if I find, okay, it's possible to find area of this one. Yeah, it's possible, right? It's possible. But it's not possible to find this one. It's not possible. So how, how to do it? Let's see. Uh, mm, okay, one is, okay, okay, we can find the area of sector here first, right? And then what we can do? We can find the area of triangle also, right? It's possible, huh? And then after I find this one, I can take, let's see, uh, okay, I think I know how to do it already. First is to find the area of whole thing. Yeah, first find the area of whole thing, and then minus this one. Yeah, because this is a sector, right? And the radius is 13.21. Here is also 13.21. Yeah, 13.21. Okay. Yeah, that's the only way actually. So I repeat one more time. The only way to do this question is to find the area of the whole thing and then minus this one. Minus this one. Then you get the shaded region here. Okay. That's the only way. Of course, okay. I repeat one more time. You cannot take area of this sector minus area of this sector. I already explained why. It's because this is not a sector. This is not a sector. That's why cannot. So let's do it. So area of shaded region. First is to find the area of the whole thing. So to get the area of whole thing, you will find this separately and this separately. So you will do it separately. So first, let's calculate the area of this sector, which is the SQT sector. The answer will be 1 over 2 r squared theta, because that's the formula for area of sector. So let's write it. Area of sector formula is 1 over 2 r squared theta. The radius will be 8. The theta will be 1.2. 1.2 radian. Okay, this one is the area of this sector. You have to plus with the area of triangle. Yeah, plus with the area of triangle. And the formula we use for area of triangle is 1 over 2 AB sine C. Yeah, this is the formula we will use to find area of triangle. So 1 over 2 AB sine C. What is the A? It can be any two sides. Let's take 8 and 13.21, because that way you can take the angle later, you can take 0.6, right? But the 0.6 radian, you have to convert to degree. Okay, you have to convert to degree. So it become 1 over 2 AB sine C, right? And the C angle must be in degree. And why is it have to be in degree? Because kalau depan ada trigo, ada sin cos tan, then you have to make sure the angle kena letak dalam degree. So the 0.6 here, I have to times with 180 divide pi. Because that's how you convert from radian to degree. So 0.6 times 180 divide. Pi, they never say use what, but I'm going to use 3.142. In circular measure, most of the time we use 3.142. So the answer is 34.37. Let's write in degree minute. 34 degree 22 minutes. So this is the angle, this angle, right? So I'm gonna write it here, 34 degree 22 minutes. Okay, so yang depan ni is for area of sector, and then yang belakang ni is for area of triangle. It means when I plus these two, I sudah berjaya cari area of the whole thing, like the whole thing. But I only want the shaded region area. So what I'm gonna do is minus this sector, the PQR sector, and PQR is a sector. Okay, and we will use the 1 over 2 r squared theta formula again, but this time my r is 13.21, and then have to square, and then my theta this time is 0.6. This one is when you use this formula, the angle is in radian. Okay, you will only change to degree when depan ada trigo, ada sin costan. Alright, let's press calculator. 8 square, 64 divide 2 times 1.2. Okay, my calculator give me 38.4. So just write it. And then next one, let's press this whole thing. So 1 over 2 times 8 is 4 times 30.21 times sine 34 degree 22 minute. Okay, I get 29.83. Just write in 4 significant figure. The last one, 13.21 square divide 2 times 0.6. Okay, I'm pressing the calculator and the calculator give me 52.35. And then the last step is just take everything add together lah. So answer plus 29.83 plus 38. Okay, my calculator give me 120.58. But did I do something wrong here? Wait, the sign minus 1. Okay, let me press again. I think I did something wrong here. 38.4 correct. 16.21 divided 2 times sine 34 degree. 29.83. Yeah, correct. 21 squared, right, 2 times 52.35. Yeah, I think I did everything correct. So the answer is 120.58. But why the schema tak sama? Okay, let me check again. I don't know whether the schema salah or saya salah. Okay, let me just check again. 8 square divide 1.2 divide 8 square divide 2 times 38.4, correct? 8 divide 2 times 13 times 13.21 times sine 29.83, correct also. Oh, I think I know why already. This one have to plus and then minus. Sorry, I made a careless mistake. This one have to plus and then minus, right? Because when you take this one plus this one, it's because you're taking area of sector plus with the triangle to get the whole thing. But why I have to minus is because you want the shaded region. So this one is minus. Yeah, it's not plus. Okay, so I silap because 2. So let me press again. 38.4 plus 29.83 minus 52.35. Okay, my calculator give me 15.88. Okay, yang ni baru betul. 15.88 cm square. Okay, sorry, I made a careless mistake. Okay, I tulis plus here, but actually it's minus lah. Alright, so hope you understand. Let's go. Okay, number 39. It is given that function fx equals to this. And then soalan A, find the gradient function of fx. Okay, if I am you, I will straight away expand this. Because this is differentiation question, right? They say gradient function means dy dx, right? But if you want to find dy dx, kalau boleh expand dulu, kena expand dulu, right? So the first thing first is we have to expand first. Okay, so let's do it up here. So soalan A, fx equals to, okay, let's try to expand. X times x square, x power 3. The next one, x times negative 9, negative 9x, negative 3 times x square, negative 3x square, x times negative 9, negative 9. Okay, I'm just expanding, right? Let's check one more time. X power 3 minus 9x minus 3x squared. Okay, negative 3 times negative 9 is positive, right? Sorry, this one salah. This one is positive 27. Yeah. Okay, sampai sini, you can susun a bit. X power 3, okay, and then minus 3x power 2 minus 9x plus 27. This would be my fx. Okay, now we can differentiate because they want to find gradient function, right? Gradient function means they want you to differentiate. Okay, dy dx. Okay, you cannot write dy dx here because the equation they give you in fx, and when you differentiate the fx equation, you have to write f prime x. This is how we write when we differentiate the fx. Okay, but if it's y, if the equation is y, then you write dy dx lah. But the equation, if the equation is fx, then you have to write f prime x. Okay, what happens when you differentiate x power 3? Differentiate means you take the power darab dengan nombor depan and then power minus 1. So nombor depan nothing means 1 lah. So 3 times 1 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. And then power minus 1 become x power 2. Let's do it one more time. Power darab nombor depan, 2 times 3 is 6. Power minus 1 is x. What is differentiate negative 9x? Negative 9. When you differentiate x tak ada power, then the answer will be nombor depan. And then differentiate number 27 is 0. Okay, this is the answer. Okay, this is your A answer, right? Because when you differentiate, you will get your answer will be in terms of x. And that answer, we call it the GF, the gradient function. So that is your A answer, Surah Sep. Okay, that's the answer. Okay. All right, but what if they ask you to find gradient tangent? If they ask you to find gradient tangent, they have to give you a point, right? And you will need the x coordinate of the point to sub inside the gradient function to get the MT. MT means gradient tangent, right? But the soalan never give me point, and the soalan never ask me to find the gradient tangent. That's why I can stop here. Okay. Okay. Now B says what? Find the stationary point. Stationary point means turning point. Make sure you know this, please. Stationary point and turning point is the same meaning. So find the turning point for fx and determine the nature of stationary point. Nature means they want you to determine whether it's minimum or maximum. That's what they want. Okay, nature means minimum or maximum, right? And how we determine, we have to do the second derivative, d2y dx2. If your second derivative bigger 0, it means it's a minimum point. If it's smaller 0, then it's a maximum point. All right, so this we will be doing this later, right? But before we find the nature, we have to find the turning point first. And how to find turning point? dy dx equals 0. It means when you do B, you will take your A answer equals 0. Okay. For those who's asking, hey sir, why equals 0? Because when you are finding turning point, the gradient tangent will be 0. Right? The gradient tangent will be 0. That is why your dy dx answer, your f prime x answer will be equal 0. Okay. Alright, sampai sini you can use calculator to factorize, tapi boleh kecilkan dulu. All these numbers can divide 3, bahagi 3, bahagi 3, bahagi 3. Now only you press calculator and you end up with 2 answer. Right? So now let's press. So I hope all of you know how to press. What is the A? 1, what's the B? Negative 2, what's the C? Negative 3. So my calculator give me 2 answer here, 3 and negative 1. If x is positive 3, then here you have to write x minus 3. If x negative 1, you have to x plus 1. Means you have to tukar tanda lah. Okay, after you reach here, you have 2 answers, right? It means there's 2 turning point. That's what it means. It means I have 2 turning point, right? So let's find out the y coordinate. Because when you find turning point, you need to have x and y coordinate, right? Point mesti ada x and y. So how to find your y coordinate? Very easy, just sub inside the original equation. So I want you to know that fx and y is the same thing. Fx dengan y adalah benda yang sama, right? So y equals to x power 3. So bracket power 3 minus 9. Okay, let's ganti this one lah. Minus, actually it's the same thing, right? But this one is much more better. This one I susun nicely already. So x power 3 minus 3 bracket square minus 9 bracket plus 27. And here I'll ganti 3, 3, 3. Okay, and then I'll just press calculator later. There's another point. So let's make this smaller. There's another point. There's another point. Okay, well, x negative 1, right? So this one y bracket power 3 minus 3x squared. So 3 bracket square minus 9x. So minus 9 bracket plus 27. Right? And all of this I will sub with negative 1, negative 1, negative 1. It means there's 2 turning points. Okay, you have 2 answer here, right? It means they've got 2 turning points. Okay, so let's find out the y coordinate of both the turning point first. So we press calculator, we'll press all of this. Make sure you tekan bracket semua tu lah. So I'm gonna press down 3 times 3 plus 3. Okay, my calculator give me 0. Yeah, my calculator give me 0. It means the first turning point is 3, 0. And then the other one, negative 1 power 3 is negative 1. So negative 1 and then minus 3. Negative 1 square is positive 1 plus 9 plus 27. Okay, my calculator give me 32 for the other one. 32, right? So the other turning point is negative 132. So I already berjaya dapatkan the coordinates of the stationary point, the turning point, right? But the soalan never stop there. The soalan asks you to determine the nature of stationary point. Means you have to determine whether it's minimum or maximum. And how to do that? You have to do the second derivative. Okay, I sambung here because not enough space. So you have to do the d2y over dx2, which is known as the second derivative. So how do you do the second derivative? Very easy. Second derivative means you differentiate dua kali. You differentiate the equation dua kali, right? So if you look at the equation, differentiate satu kali is this one, right? This one is differentiate satu kali. So what is differentiate dua kali? It means you will look at this and differentiate sekali lagi. Okay. And actually you cannot write d2y dx2. You know why, right? Because this one, the equation they give in fx. So instead of writing d2y dx2, you will write f double prime x. It means f prime prime double prime. Okay? Because f prime x means differentiate sekali. So differentiate dua kali means f double prime x. It means I will differentiate sekali lagi. Because this one is already differentiate sekali lagi. So differentiate 3x square, 6x, differentiate negative 6x, negative 6, and differentiate 9 is 0. And what I do with the second derivative, I will sub the x coordinate, which is 3 inside, and then sub the negative 1 inside, like this. Okay? And let me tell you, when you sub 3 inside, what you are doing is you are testing for this point. Understand? When you sub 3 inside, what you are doing is you are trying to test for whether this point is minimum or maximum, right? So it will become 6x minus 6, right? The other one is also 6x minus 6, but one of it you will sub 3, the other one you will sub negative 1, okay? So 6 times 3 is 18, 18 minus 6 is 12. 6 times negative 1, negative 6 minus 6 is negative 12. 12 is bigger than 0, so bigger than 0 means minimum. So this is a minimum point. And then this one is smaller than 0, it means this is maximum. And let me tell you, when you sub 3, you are already test for the whole point already. It means the 3, 0, the whole point is the minimum point. And then this one is the maximum point. Okay? So I'm just going to write it here, dot, dot, dot. 3, 0 is a minimum turning point. Okay? Is a minimum turning point. Is a minimum point. And then the other point, which is negative 132, is the maximum point. Okay? All right. What if one day your second derivative equals 0? It means after you sub the x inside, okay, for this question you get 12, right? And if 12 is bigger than 0, it means minimum lah. If smaller 0 means maximum. But what if you get 0? What if you get 0? Okay, if you get 0, you cannot use this method. You have to use another method called the tangent sketching method. That one you have to draw table, and then you have to like do the tangent sketching method, and then you have to sketch the tangent line, and then you have to sketch the graph. Yeah. So that one you have to use another method to do. Okay, but I will not go into details lah. But that question pernah come out. I forget in which state paper. I think it's Malacca. I forgot lah. I forgot. Okay, but dia pernah keluar yang tu. So uh, how to say, make sure you know how to do that question also. Okay, let's continue with C. C says find value of f bracket 1.001 by using the concept of calculus. Okay, very simple. If they want you to find f bracket 1.001, what you are doing is you are basically finding the new value of y. I repeat, find value of this one means you are finding new value of y. Okay, because this fx and y is the same thing. Fx dengan y is benda yang sama. So if they want you to find f 1.001, it means they want to find new value of y. Okay, then what is 1.001? That one is the new value of x. New value of x. It means your new value of x is 1.001. Okay, and they say by using concept of calculus, right? Okay, very easy. You will use the small change punya cara to find it. So first I will tell you the formula first. The formula to get new value of y is to take the old value of y. The formula is take the old value of y plus with the delta y. Right? You take the old value, or some student they call it original value of y. Okay, old value of y or the original value of y is the same meaning. And then plus with the delta y. Delta y means the small change in y. Okay. But how to get the old value of y and how to get the delta y? Very easy, very easy. To get the old value of y, you need an old value of x. Right? So we already know the new value of x is 1.001. The old value of x will be a number that is near to 1.001. And you can choose any number lah, but I will choose 1, right? Because 1 is very near to 1.001. And after you have the new value, old value, you can find the small change in x, right? So what is the small change in x? Delta x. You will take the new value minus the old value. So 1.001 minus 1, you get 0.001. Okay. But if you look at the formula carefully, we actually don't want the delta x. We want the delta y because I'm finding new value of y. All right. So the formula is old value of y plus delta y. Okay. And the delta y is not 0.001. This is the delta x. So you have to use a formula to calculate delta y. The formula looks like this. dy dx is almost equals to delta y over delta x. And the delta x we already find out is 0.001. And then the small change in y, delta y, this is what we want to find at the end. So we don't have it now. But the dy dx, we can find it myself. All right. But the dy dx, you will put which one? Your dy dx, you will put which one? So if you look at your a working, which one? Of course, you will put this one, right? The 3x squared minus 6x minus 9. But guess what? You have to sub the x with the original value before you write it here. It means you get 3x squared minus 6x minus 1, right? Let's check again. 3x squared minus 6x minus 9. That's the dy dx. Means after you differentiate, this is what you get lah. 3x squared minus 6x minus 9. So this one is 9. But the x, you have to always ganti with the original value, the old value, okay, of x, which is 1. Okay. Okay, sampai sini you can find your delta y. Okay. But I recommend you tekan yang ni dulu, baru you darab dengan 0.001. So what is 3 times 1 square? 3, 3 minus 6, negative 3, negative 3 minus 9, negative 12. Negative 12 times 0.001. Let's press. My calculator give me negative 0.012. But this is also not the answer. What is this? This is only the small change in y, the delta y. To find the new value of y, okay, I'm gonna write it like this. If you want to find the new value of y, you have to take the old value of y plus with delta y, right? Okay, now you know your delta y already is negative 0.012. Then how to get your old value of y? Okay, some students, they will make this mistake. They will tell me 1. They will tell me 1 because they thought, sir, old value is 1 lah. No, 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 no. This 1 is not the old value of y. This 1 is the old value of x. It's the old value of x. So how to get old value of y? Very easy. If you want to find old value of y, just ganti the old value of x inside the equation. If you ganti the old value of x inside the equation, you will get the old value of y. So to get the old value of y, what you're doing is you're basically taking you're basically ganti the x with 1. It means later the equation here, the fx equation, you have to ganti x with 1, right? Now let me ask you again, how to get the new value of y? Can I say that the new value of y is 1.001? Cannot. 1.001 is the new value of x. So how to get the new value of y? Macam tadi lah. To get the new value of y, you will ganti the new value of x inside the equation. It means you will take f and then you will sub the x with 1.001. Can you see this one is exactly the same with what they want you to find here? That is why I mentioned tadi, if they want to find value of f 1.001, what they are basically saying is to find the new value of y lah. It's the same meaning. New value of y is f 1.001. You see, new value is basically this one. So now I can find my f1 and then plus with this answer, then I get the answer already. Okay, how to find f1? F1. So let's use this equation lah. Actually, I want to use this one also can. The one yang sebelum expand boleh juga. But I want to use this one. So x power 3 minus 3x square. So x power 3 minus 3x square. X power 3 minus 3x square minus 9x plus 27. Minus 9x plus 27. But all the x you have to sub with 1, right? Because 1 is the old value of x. And when you sub old value of x inside, you will get the old value of y. So when you calculate all this, you will get old value of y, but you have to still plus with the delta y 0.012, and this is how you calculate the final answer. Okay, so this one got negative, be careful. All right, I'm gonna press this whole thing first. So let me press now. 1 power 3 is 1. 1 minus 3 negative 2 minus 9 negative 11 plus 27, 16. But the 16 have to plus with negative 0.012 means minus lah. Plus minus means minus, minus 0.012. Okay, my calculator give me 15.988. Okay, so 15.988 and that will be the answer. Okay, I don't think you have to write any unit here lah because yeah, there's no unit in this question. Okay, sudah siap. That's the answer. Hope you understand. Okay, let's continue with question number 10. Let's read. Diagram 10 shows a cross-sectional of a trapezium shaped container which has a parabolic inner surface and a flat cover. Okay. let's read again. Cross-sectional trapezium-shaped container. Okay, this is a container. Parabolic inner surface. So the inner surface is a parabolic curve and a flat cover. Okay, the inner surface of the container represent the function y equals ax square. So let's draw an arrow here. This one is y equals ax square, the inner surface. And then it is given that the length of AB is 12, CD is 8. So AB is 12, CD is 8. So this one distance here to here, this is 8. And then AB is 12. So like this is 12. Okay, so far so good. AP, QB, 1 cm. AP is 1, QB is also 1. Okay. And then the height of container is 8 cm. The height, I think, is referring to this height. So yeah, I think it's talking about this height. So this height is 8 cm. Okay, I can find the diameter. Cannot. Diameter. I cannot call it diameter, right? Because this is not a hemisphere. So, but what I can do is I can find the distance here actually. Because if this one, the whole distance is 12, right? This one is 1, this one is 1. So if I take 12 minus 1, I would get 10. And it means 10 is the distance from P to Q. But this is a parabolic curve, right? So, okay, I don't know. Okay, so far it's like that. So now we can do A, find the value of small a. It means they want to find this one. Okay, I can tell this is like a difficult question. So how to do it? Let's see. Okay, let's focus on the equation of curve. Y equals ax square. So you will notice that it's a quadratic equation because got power 2. But what is the B and C, right? Because usually quadratic equation in general form is ax square plus bx plus c, right? But in this equation, there's no b, there's no c. It means the b is 0 and the c is 0. And let me tell you one uh one thing that student usually don't know, but I'll tell you now. If the b is 0, it means the y-axis is the axis of symmetry. It means the axis of symmetry of the curve will be the y-axis. Okay, if your b is 0, right? If your b is 0, okay, because the value of b determines the position of axis of symmetry. And if your b is 0, it means your axis of symmetry is exactly in the middle. Okay, and then what about the c? What about if the c is 0? Okay, the c is 0 means trying to tell you that the y-intercept is 0. And if the y-intercept is 0, it means your x-axis must be here. Yeah, it must be here. It means what is your turning point? What is your turning point? Your turning point will be 0, 0. Okay? So I repeat one more time. If your equation punya B and C is 0, it means your turning point will be 0, 0. Only if your B and C is 0, baru you boleh buat macam ni lah. Okay? So, after I sampai sini, what I can do now? I can find out some points, right? Because the distance here is 10. It means this must be 5. This must be 5 and this must be negative 5. Okay? Yeah. Because it means here to here is 5 unit, here to here is 5 unit. But I have to write negative because it's on the left side of the origin. Okay? And then the 8 cm here means this is 4 and then the other one is negative 4. It means I can erase this already. So let me erase the 8 here. Let's write nicely. This one is 0 and this one is negative 4. Okay? And then what else? If this one, the x coordinate is 5. Okay, okay, the whole thing is 12 just now, right? This one. It means this one, when you tarik bawah, it will be negative 6. And then this one, when you tarik, is 6. You understand why, right? Because the 12 can divide by 2. Because you cut it in half. That's why it's 6, 6. Okay. And also, we know the y coordinate. Wait, this 10. Okay, this 10, I should erase it. Yeah. Because this 10, I already know it's 5 here, 5 here, right? The distance here, 5. The distance here, 5. And then what about the 8? This 8 will be the y coordinate. Yeah. It means the 12 also I can erase. Because the 12, I already label it 6, 6 here. 6, negative 6. So can we find the point B coordinate? Yes, 6, 8. That's the coordinate of point B. What about point Q? 5, 8. Okay. What about point C? Point C is 4, 0. Yeah, 4, 0. Point P coordinate, negative 5, 8. Okay, and then point A, -6, 8. And then point D, -4, 0. Yeah, so it means the origin, the turning point, that's the turning point is the origin. And the reason why we can make the turning point jadi origin is because the equation punya B and C is both 0. And when your B is 0, C is 0, automatic your turning point will be 0, 0. So yeah, very, very important knowledge. Okay, so make sure you remember that. Okay, now we can do A already. Find value of A. Yeah, this is easy already. Because in order to find A, you just have to sub X and Y inside, right? Okay, but you have to start, make sure the XY coordinate, the curve got passes through that point, right? So the curve is this curve. Yeah, this is the curve. So you don't go and sub point B or point A, memang tak boleh lah. Because point A, point B didn't passes through the curve. You have to either sub the point P or point Q. Let's sub point Q. So Q is 5, 8. X is 5, Y is 8. So Y jadi 8. And then A bracket X square, this one is 5. If you want to sub the -5, 8, boleh juga. So the answer will be A equals 8 divide 25, which is 8 over 25. And that's the answer. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, let's do B here. Let's do B here. Okay, this question, I want to mention one thing. It's very similar to the Kelantan question. I remember the Kelantan trial, okay, but I don't forget paper 1 or paper 2, and I don't remember which question. There's a very similar question like this, okay. They give you like a bowl, and then they also mention something like this, like very similar. Yeah, very similar. Okay, anyways, let's continue. Okay, B, area of shaded region. It means this area right here. Okay, so how do we find the area of shaded region? I think we have to find it using integration method, right? So what we have the equation of curve now is ax squared, but the a we already know is 8 over 25, right? So this one is 8 over 25 x squared. So what we can do is we can integrate from uh, let's see. Wow, it's very difficult, because the region is like this. If I integrate curve towards x-axis, if I integrate towards x-axis, I can find the area here, but it's like it's not including here. I want this, right? So that's the problem, right? So the only way is to find the area of like this first, all right? And the only way to find the area of this is to take area of rectangle. It means you will take here times here. So the panjang here is 6, panjang here is 8. So you take 6 times 8. But of course, this is not the answer lah. You have to minus with what? You have to minus with the area of triangle and minus with this area. Okay, and this area you can find it by using integration. You can integrate curve, but towards y-axis. Yeah, you have to integrate towards y because if you integrate towards x, you will end up finding like other region. If you want this region, you have to integrate towards y. Okay, integrate curve towards y. Okay, let's continue. 6 times 8, that will be 48, but this is the area for the whole thing. I have to minus with the area of triangle first. Triangle, I can use 1 over 2 times base times height. The base will be 6 minus 4, which is 2, and then the height will be 8. So 8 times 2 is 16, divided 2 is 8. But I have to minus lagi dengan satu lagi, which is the curve, right? This curve, you have to find it using integration, and you will integrate towards y-axis. So it will be dy, this will be x. But the number will be from 0 to 8. Okay, but the 0 have to write bawah, 8 have to write atas. Okay, now it becomes integrate 8, 0, x dy, right? And then the x later I have to sub with the equation curve. Okay, but this one is 8 over 25 x squared. So how? We can pindah a bit lah. So 8 over 25 x squared equals y. X squared equals 25 over 8y. X equals square root 25 over 8y. So I'm just gonna write uh 25 over 8y power 1 over 2. Yeah, because if you square root the whole thing means power 1 over 2, right? So this is the equation. But the y dia atas punya. So you have to write in the middle. Okay. So this whole thing I will sub inside here. Okay. So now it becomes what? It becomes integrate 25 over 8 y power 1 over 2 close bracket dy. Okay. But actually, you have to times 2 at the end. Yeah. You have to take all this. After you complete all this, you have to times 2. You know why? Because there's another side. There's another side of it, right? And it's symmetrical. So because after you get this, after you find this area, you tolak ni, you dapat sini, you still have to times 2. Find the other side. That is why this working, you have to times 2 last kali, right? So now it becomes 2 times with 48 minus 8, which is 40. But you have to integrate this, right? Okay, let's integrate. How to integrate? Okay, when you integrate this, the power have to plus 1. So it becomes 25 over 8. Okay, open a bracket. Okay, the y power have to plus 1. 1 over 2 plus 1 is 3 over 2. And you have to divide with the power 3 over 2. And then close bracket, 8, 0. Okay, and then close another bracket. Okay, now it becomes 2 times 40 minus. Okay, this one you can simplify. But how? The 3 over 2 duduk bawah, right? So when you duduk bawah means it means 25 over 8. Bahagi 3 over 2 means darab 3 over 2. Darab 2 over 3. Yeah. Okay, but because the 3 over 2 duduk bawah, right? It means bahagi 3 over 2. So bahagi 3 over 2 means darab 2 over 3 lah. And then y power 3 over 2 times. And then close bracket, 8, 0. Okay, and then close another bracket. Did I do everything correctly? Yeah, I think so. And then now it becomes 2 big bracket, 40 minus. Okay, this one can cut 2, 8 and 2 cut, left with 4, right? So now we can sub the 8 inside. And when we sub the 8 inside, I will get one answer. And then when I sub 0, I will get another answer. And then I have to minus and then close the bracket like this. Okay, this bracket there's 2 bracket because you need to sub 8 first and then sub 0, right? Okay, what happens when you sub 8 into y here? So let's use calculator. We have to tekan 8 power 3 over 2. 8 power 3 over 2. And then you have to times with 25, divide 4, divide 3. Times 25, divide 4, divide 3. So you will get 47.14. Okay, that's what you get when you sub the 8 inside. Okay. Uh, did I do it correctly? I think so. So, okay, and then now next one. Wait, let me press again. 8 power 5. Yeah, 47.14. But can I change to fraction? Cannot. Tak apa, kita sambung dulu. Okay, what about if I sub 0? Okay, if I sub 0, it will be easy lah, because when you sub 0, the whole thing will be 0. Because 0 power 3 will do 0, and then 0 bahagi whatever is 0. So it will be 0. So now you end up with 2 bracket. Okay, what is 47.14 minus 0? 47.14 lah. And then 40 minus 47.14. You get negative answer. Mesti saya ada buat salah kan? Takkanlah area negative. Area of shaded region. Where did it go wrong? Okay, let me check again. 6 times 8. That's the area of rectangle, right? And then minus with triangle. 1 over 2 times 2 times 8. So you end up with 8 here. The 8 minus 8, 40. Integrate curve equation towards y-axis. 25 over 8y square root 25 over 8y. Oh, this square root, this 1 over 2, you should write outside, right? Because the whole thing square root. So it's like it will become 25 over 8. The 25 also need to square root. The 8 also need to square root, right? So yeah, mistake here. Okay, let me betulkan. Okay, so what it should become what? So let's betulkan my mistake. So if everything have to square root here, it means 25. When you square root 25, what you get? Get 5, right? But then when you square root 8, you will just square root 8 lah. Okay, and then y power 1 over 2 is just y power 1 over 2. Okay, and then this is integrate 80 dy. Okay, and then close the bracket. Now only we integrate. Now only we integrate, so 40 minus, okay, now we integrate becomes what? 5 over square root 8 bracket y power 3 over 2 over 3 over 2, right? And then close bracket 8, 0, and then close another bracket. And then now we erase this, it will become 40 minus. Okay, how to solve this whole thing? I think I'll just use calculator straight away lah. Okay, why I draw two bracket? One bracket is for us to sub 8 inside, one is for us to sub 0 inside. But we all know when we sub 0, you will end up with 0 because 0 power 3 over 2, 0, 0 times 5, 0, yeah, 0. But when you sub 8, it's different lah. Okay, so what is 8 power 3 over 2? Let's press. 8 power 3 over 2, according to my calculator, is 22 point something. But you have to divide with bracket 3 over 2. So let's tekan answer, divide bracket 3 over 2. And then you get 15 point something. And then now you have to times 5, divide square root 8. So times 5, divide square root 8. Okay, my calculator give me 80 over 3. Okay, that's what my calculator give me. It means I just use my calculator to tekan some more, right? So now you end up with 40 minus 80 over 3 minus 0 is 80 over 3 lah. And now you will get the answer. 2 bracket, what is 40 minus 80 over 3? 40 over 3. And then times 2. Why have to times 2? Because I mentioned already, right? Because the shaded region, you only find here only, you have to times 2 at the end. Okay, so the answer is 80 over 3 units square. Okay, uh, let me check with the schema. Okay, yeah, betul. Right, so that's the answer. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, there's actually another method to do this question. You can also how to say, you can also integrate towards x-axis actually. I just realized, yeah. But the cara working dia lain sikit lah, but can also lah. Okay, up to you. But anyways, this is how I would do it. Hope you understand. So B, the question is worth 4 marks. Okay, let's do C here. Okay, let's do C here. Okay, so A sudah siap, B sudah siap. C says, find the maximum volume of the rice in terms of pi that can be stored in the container if the cover of the container is tightly closed. Maximum volume of the rice in terms of pi that can be stored if the cover is tightly closed. I think it's talking about this volume. Yeah, I think it's about talking about this volume because if the mm, okay, let's use blue color. Because if the fill it with rice and then tightly closed, you want to find the volume, means you're finding the volume of this one lah. But you cannot use the volume of hemisphere formula. Yeah, cannot, because this is not a hemisphere. It looks like a hemisphere, but it's not. Because hemisphere, the radius must be same. If you think about this, the radius here is 8 unit, but the radius here is not 8. Yeah, it's like 5. That's why it's not a hemisphere. So you have to use integration to do. And the formula for integration, when you use to find volume, the integration formula is integrate. If it's dx, this will be pi y square. If it's dy, then it's pi x square. This is the formula for volume. So now you will integrate towards x or towards y. So the soalan never say, right? But you have to integrate towards everything. Towards y actually, because yeah, if integrate towards x is not possible to find the volume of this one. Yeah. So the only way is to integrate towards y. Yeah, there's no other way. Okay, bukan macam B ya. Macam B, you can choose integrate towards y, towards x pun boleh because it's area. Area you can choose one, but volume there's only one way to do it. So this for volume, you must integrate towards y. So I'll straight away write down the formula, integrate towards y, dy. But here I have to be pi x square lah. Okay, and the pi can letak depan. And the problem is what numbers I have to write here. You have to write 0 to 8. Because you integrate curve towards the y-axis from 0 to 8, right? So like this, okay? So 0 to 8. 0 here, 8 here, okay? And let me tell you what you are basically doing here. What you are doing is you are finding the volume of this side after you rotate 360-degree about y-axis, right? And the soalan, what they want, the volume of rice if the cover is tightly closed, right? So what it means is, yeah lah, you just do it like this lah. Okay. So when you're taking this, rotate 360-degree, you will get the answer. Okay. So but we need to take out the pi, and then here will be 80. And then here is dy, and here we have to sub with the x square, okay? and we have to go to the equation of curve. So we can refer here, x squared is actually equals to what? X squared is equals to 25 over 8y, right? So x squared is 25 over 8y. You don't need to square again. If you square lagi, then salah already. No need to square already, because this one is already x squared. And then now it becomes pi, and then got big bracket, and then you integrate lah. 25 over 8, small bracket, integrate y, become y power 2 over 2, close bracket, 8, 0. Okay. Can we cut? Cannot cut. So straight away we sub. So when we sub, we will have to open two bracket. One bracket is for you to sub 8, another bracket is for you to sub 0, and then tengah-tengah mesti minus. When you sub 8, 8 square 64, 64 divide 2, 32, 32 divide 8, 4, 4 times 25, 100. When you sub 0, you will just get 0, yeah. And then you'll get 100 pi, and this time is units cube lah, because it's volume, right? So 100 pi is the answer. Okay, this is a difficult question, but I hope you understand my explanation. Okay, let's continue. Okay, let's do number 11. Solution by scale drawing is not accepted. Okay, tak penting. Let's read here. Diagram 11 shows a triangle ABC. Okay, where point D lies on BC. Where is it? D lies on BC. Okay. It is given that the ratio of triangle triangle ABD ratio area of triangle ADC is 1:3. So ABD triangle is this one, right? And then ADC triangle is here, right? And then the ratio is 1:3. But that's the area, right? So maybe later if I sangkut, baru saya guna information ni. So later when I start doing the question, if I rasa macam sangkut tak boleh buat, then it means definitely have to use this information, the area information, right? But for now, I will just I don't want to label it, okay? Because it's like how if I label it, my diagram will look messy. So I will just leave it for now. Okay. Okay, soalan A, find the coordinates of point B, which means this one, right? So can you find coordinates of point B? Let's see. Or do we need to use the area information now? A, B, D, A, D, C. A, B, D, A, D, C. So how? Okay, I think you need to use the area information lah. Yeah, you need to use the area information. So let's write down the area information. Area of triangle ABD ratio area of triangle ADC is 1:3. Okay, if you look at the ABD triangle, I will use blue color pen. ABD is this one, right? It's this one, and this one. Okay, so if this is the triangle, if this is the triangle for ABD, then which one is the triangle for ADC? Is this one, right? And you can see, the area of triangle, you can find it using 1/2 times base times height, right? So imagine if you are finding the area of red color triangle, which one you can jadikan dia punya base? This one. You can jadikan this one as the base, right? So it means the area of, okay, I'm just gonna write it here. Area of uh, triangle ABD, right? So ABD, okay. Yeah, let's find ABD first lah. So it's 1/2 times base times height. The base, we can jadikan B, okay, to get the base. But the height of the triangle, I cannot take this height. I cannot take this distance. I have to take the perpendicular distance. Means I have to take from the jarak D here until here. Yeah, until here. It means the jarak have to be perpendicular with the base, and it has to go up until the highest point. This is the distance I have to take. So I'm just gonna call it H here. Okay. And then I have to bahagi dengan area of ADC, because ratio means basically means bahagi. So bahagi dengan area of ADC, which is the red color triangle. So you will use the same formula, 1/2 times base times height. The base I will jadikan DC, the base, and then the height will be this height, the perpendicular distance here. But if you notice, this height and this height is the same, right? The perpendicular height of the blue color triangle and the perpendicular height for the red color triangle is the same. So this H and this H is the same. Okay, and then equals 1:3 means 1 divided 3. It means I can cut the H and I can cut the 1/2, because this H is the same H, This H and this H is the same H. It means these two triangle they have the same perpendicular height. If you take this line as the base, then they will have the same perpendicular height. That's why we can take advantage of that. Okay, that is why BD over DC is 1 over 3. So BD over DC is 1 over 3. It means the BD panjang, this one is BD. The BD ratio is 1. Okay, and then DC ratio is 3. That's what it means, right? Because if you convert this to ratio, BD over DC means BD ratio DC is 1 ratio 3. So that's why it's like this, right? So now we can do question A. Find the coordinates of point B. Okay, the point B we don't know. I'll just call it XY. But we have the point D, we have the point C, and we have the ratio. So this is the perfect condition to use the point C formula. Okay, I call it the point C formula, but uh the actual the actually I call it the point C formula, but it's not the point, but it's not, you cannot write point C here. Okay, you have to write point D. Okay, you always have to write the point in between. Okay, so the point in between here is point D, and the formula is like this, garis garis. It's like the midpoint formula. Okay, and what you have to do is you have to darab silang. Darab silang means you have to take point yang dekat hujung, and then you have to times with the jauh punya ratio. Okay, so what you have to do now, the point D is the point in between. So that one is 3 negative 2. Okay, so this is the point in between, and then this point in between dia equal dengan apa? It will equals to darab silang. So when you darab silang, you will take point B times 3. It means x times 3, y times 3. So you get 3x here, 3y here. And then what about the point C? The point C have to times 1. It means 9 times 1, 1 times 1. So 9 times 1, that's the x coordinate. 1 times 1, that's the y coordinate. And if there's nothing in between, means plus. And then for down here, you have to take the ratio, add together. 1 plus 3, 1 plus 3, so you get 4. Okay, for those who don't understand, I'm just using the formula. Okay, this is the formula. This is the formula we learned in Form 4 chapter coordinate geometry. Okay, I call it the point C formula. Okay, the formula is like you kena darab silang macam ni. Okay, so the answer will be 3x plus 9 over 4. This one will be 3y plus 1 over 4. And now we can compare the x coordinate with x coordinate. So 3x plus 9 over 4 equals 3. And then I can find my x. 3 times 4, 12, 12 minus 9, 3, 3 divided 3, 1. And then what about the y coordinate? 3y plus 1 over 4 equals to the y coordinate on the other side, negative 2. So y equals to negative 2 times 4, negative 8 minus 1, negative 9 divided 3, negative 3. So the answer for coordinates of point B, 1, negative 3. That is the answer. So this point is 1, negative 3. Okay. All right. Hope you understand. Let's continue. Soalan B. P is a moving point, means this is a locus question lah. It means the point P coordinate you have to jadikan XY. Because when I teach my student, I always say the same thing. If doing locus question, always jadikan the moving point XY. Okay, so P is the moving point, so P is the coordinate of P, we don't know, we call it XY. Okay, and then they say such that what? Such that PD is always perpendicular. Hey, the moment you see this word perpendicular in Addmaths, you have to immediately think about this formula. M1 times M2 equals negative 1. Okay, perpendicular, when two lines are perpendicular, when you take the two lines perpendicular punya gradient, the gradient when you times them together, you will get negative 1 if two lines are perpendicular. So now they say PD is perpendicular to PC. Find equation of locus P. So we can say gradient of PD multiply with gradient of PC is equals negative 1 because it's perpendicular. Yeah. So you just find the gradient of PD lah. Okay, how to find gradient of PD? Point P is xy, point D is 3, negative 2. And the formula for gradient is y minus y, x minus x. So y minus negative 2, y plus 2, x minus x, x minus 3. And then times with gradient of PC. P is xy, point C is 9, 1. So the formula for gradient y minus y minus 1. And then x coordinate minus x coordinate, x minus 9. And this whole thing equals to negative 1, right? And then after you reach here, you just simplify lah, okay? All right, how you simplify this? You can do it like this. Atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. Yeah. So when you take atas darab atas, you will get y plus 2 times y minus 1, which means it will become like this. Y plus 2 multiplied with y minus 1 over. This one whole thing become x minus 3 bracket x minus 9. Atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah equals negative 1. So let's expand y square and then negative y, 2 times y, 2y, and then 2 times negative 1, negative 2 over. x times x, x square, x times -9, -9x, -3 times x, -3x, -3 times -9, positive 27. And the whole thing equals -1. And let's continue here. Y square, y dengan y boleh buat -1y plus 2y. -1 plus 2 is positive 1, so plus y minus 2 over x square. Okay, x dengan x boleh buat. So -9 minus 3, -12x plus 27 equals -1. So now it becomes y square plus y minus 2. This whole thing you can naik atas pindah jadi darab. So when you darab -1, it means you tukar tanda. So x square jadi -x square, minus 12x jadi plus 12x, tukar tanda, plus 27 jadi minus 27. And then now the only thing left to do is just susun jadi general form. So pindah everything to one side equals 0 lah. So the x square have to tulis dulu. So negative jadi positive x square. After you write x square, you have to write y square. After you write y square, you have to write the x, but the x is on the other side. So when you move here, it becomes minus 12. And then plus y. And then the last step is the number, -2, but have to plus with 27 because this one have to pindah sini. Okay, if you tekan calculator, -2 plus 27, you will get plus 25. And this is the answer. Alright? So x square plus y square minus 12x plus y plus 25 equals 0. Okay? Okay, sudah siap. Okay, let's continue with question number 12. Okay, for the working, I will do it up here. Okay, number 12A, let's go. If 30 CR is equals to 30 CR plus 4, okay, find the value of R. So how to find value of R? Okay, it's only worth 2 marks, okay. There is a formula that you can use for NCR, okay. It's called n factorial over n factorial n minus r factorial, okay. But when I first do this question, I try to find R by using this formula, by changing this to the by using this formula, and I couldn't get the answer, okay. And then I realized there's actually a faster way to do this question because it's only worth 2 marks. And if you look at this, did you notice that this number up here and this number up here is the same? So you need to know something. If I give you, for example, NCR, it is the same with NCN minus R. Yeah, so you need to know this, okay? So how can I test this? For example, if I give you 5C3, it's actually equivalent to 5C n minus r, which is 5 minus 3, 2. Okay, and if you don't believe me, you can press calculator and see whether you get the same answer or not. So let's try to press 5C3 now. So I'm going to press now 5C3 and my calculator give me 10. And if you try to press 5C2, you will also get 10. Okay, let's try with one more. Try with another example. Let's say 12C5. All right, so 12C5 is actually equal to 12C. 12 minus 5 is 7, right? And if you tekan this, yeah, you will get the same. So let's try 12C5 and 12C7. So yeah, they both give you 792, right? So it means this formula really works, right? It means that NCR is always equals to NCN minus R. So what I'm gonna do now is, if you look at this, the n is obviously 30 for this question, right? But even though we don't know r and r plus 4, but we know that the sum of these two numbers will be 30, all right? Just like this example I show you. Why the 5C3 and 5C2 gives you the same answer is because the sum of these two numbers give you this number, all right? That is why they give you the same answer. Same with this 12C5. Why is it equals to 12C7? Why they give you the same answer? Because the number down here, when you add together, gives you the number yang atas, right? That's why they give you the same answer. So if 30CR and 30CR plus 4 gives you the same answer, it means these two number bawah, after you tambah, you will get nombor atas, which is 30. So now you can solve for R. R plus R is 2R plus 4 jadi minus 4. 30 minus 4, I think it's 26. So R is 13, right? And from there, you know your A answer, okay? And it's only worth 2 marks. So this is enough, okay? So I hope you understand my explanation here also, all right? So this question actually we don't use we will not use this formula, okay? There's because there's only 2 marks and this is the better way to do it, okay? All right, let's do B now. So B, let's read the question. Diagram 12 shows two straight lines, okay? Points A, B, and C lie on the first straight line. ABC lie, okay, 3 points in the first line, where point DEFGH lie on the second line. So in the second line, got how many points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, no problem. Find the number of triangles or quadrilaterals that can be formed. So very easy. First, we have to find number of triangles that can be formed. So triangles consist of 3 vertices, right? So if you want to form a triangle, I can form it from this first line. I can go join one line to A, join line 1 to E, and it will form a triangle already, right? But it can also be from A joined to F, from A joined to H, and then it forms another triangle also, right? It means there's a lot lah. There's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of triangle you can form. But how can we find out how many triangle? We can use combination, okay? Out of these 3 points, you will choose 1 point, right? You will choose 1 point. But out of these 5 points, you are choosing 2 points to connect them, right? So you will times them together, okay? But actually, you can also choose 2 points from the first line, right? You can also choose 2 points from the first line. So you can also from 3 choose 2, and then from the 5 choose 1, and then you will times them times this, right? But in the middle here, you have to write plus, okay? You have to write plus because it's like another option. So it's like this option or this option. That's why you have to plus, right? But in the middle here, dalam sini you have to times lah, right? But there's another one which they got say or quadrilaterals. It means you have to plus with the number of ways to form quadrilateral. Okay, for quadrilateral, it will be from the first line you will choose 2 points, which is 3C2, and then the other one it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 5C2. Because quadrilateral consists of 4 vertices, it means definitely from the first line you have to choose any 2 points, and then from the second line you have to choose any 2 points also. Okay, and now you will plus everything lah. Just press calculator and then you will get the answer. Okay, so let me press the calculator now. 3 times 5 C2 plus 3 times 5 plus 3 times 5 C2. Okay, my calculator give me 75. But let me press again because the answer is not same with schema. 3C2 times 5C1 plus 3C2 times 5C. Oh, I think I made a mistake here, right? Because number of quadrilaterals. If I want to form quadrilaterals, it means 2 points here, 2 points here, right? So quadrilaterals. So like this. Okay, so I think the correct answer is 75 lah. Yeah, I think the correct answer is 75. Yeah, but I don't know why the schema uh give different answer. Yeah, because the schema never did 5C2 here. The schema did 4C2. So I don't know. Okay, I feel like the schema salah, and it's not the first time. It's not the first time that the schema did wrong. So uh yeah, but the schema did 4C2 here. All right, but I feel like it has to be 5C2, right? Because if I want to form a quadrilateral, I have to choose 2 points from the first line and 2 points from the second line. And in the second line, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has to be 5C2. Here must be 3C2. So I think I did everything correctly. Yeah. So I'm just gonna stick with my working and yeah, just leave it like this. All right. Okay, I'm gonna continue. Let's do C now. Okay, this question, let's read. Find the number of even number. Even number means nombor genap, means numbers that can divide by 2. Okay. So find number of even number in between 3,000 and 7,000 that can be formed by using 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 without repetition. So let's talk about this question. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if I want to form a digit that is in between 3,000 and 7,000, definitely it has to consist of 4 digit. Do you agree? Because if it's 3 digit, then automatic is not in between 3,000, 7,000 already. And what if it's 5 digit? Then it will not be in between 3,000 and 7,000, because if it's 5 digit, then it's like more than 10,000 already. So definitely it has to be 4 digit to be in between 3,000, 7,000. But at the same time, it has to be even number. That is the tricky part, right? Okay, so let's talk about the first condition, in between 3,000, 7,000. It means this first box, you have to fill in with numbers in between 3 and 7. So it will be 3, 4, 5, 6. It means this box can only masuk 3, 4, 5, 6. Why cannot masuk 2? Because if you masuk 2 here, then it will become 2,000 something. And it's not in between 3,000, 7,000 already, right? Because 3,000, 7,000 in between means it has to be bigger than 3,000, but smaller than 7,000. That is why it cannot equals to 7 also. Because if 7 masuk here, then it will be 7,000 lebih already. It will be more than 7,000. You agree, right? Because it will be like 7,000 something, which is, they don't want this. They want lesser than 7,000, right? That's why you can only fit in, you can only masuk 3, 4, 5, or 6 inside here. Okay. Then what about the last box? Well, they say even number, ma. Even number means numbers that can divide by 2. And if you want to know this number can divide by 2 or not, you will just look at the last digit. If the last digit is even, then the whole number can divide by 2. So this last digit can only masuk 2, 4, or 6 because this is the only option given, right? Now, a lot of students will do it like this. This is wrong. I'm showing you the wrong method. A lot of students will do it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, you will write 4P1, 3P1. This is wrong. And then times. And then for these two, you will, because you 3, 4, 5, 6, you sudah masuk satu. Right? And then 6, you sudah masuk satu. Tinggal 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4P2. Okay, this is wrong, by the way. All right, this is wrong. You cannot do it like this. Okay, so why? Why you cannot do it like this? Because there is overlap here. Can you see 4 and 6? 4 and 6 overlap here. It means if the 4 masuk here, then the 4 doesn't, there is no, the possibility here, tak ada 4 dah. Kalau 4 masuk here, do you agree? Because there's overlap, right? So what if the 6 masuk here then? Then the 6 cannot be here, all right? It means there is overlapping. And when there is overlapping, you have to pecahkan the case. You have to do case by case. It means you have to separate all the case and do it separately. You cannot do it like sekali because got overlap here. So what I will do here is I will look at the last digit. It can either end with 2, end with 4, end with 6, right? So case 1, I will do for end with 2. Ends with the digit 2, right? So it means later for case 1, I will make sure it ends with 2. Okay. And then case 2, I will do ends with 4. Okay. It means later for case 2, the last digit will be 4. And then case 3, I will do for ends with 6. Ends with digit 6. It means the last digit, I will make sure dia masuk 6. And then I will take these 3 case, the answer all add together. Yeah, I will add these 3 answer together, then I'll get my final answer. All right, so that's the plan now. I repeat one more time. Why you have to separate case by case is because got overlap here. 4 and 6 overlap. That's why you cannot straight away do like, oh, 4P1, 3P1 cannot. Because if 4 masuk here, then the 4 cannot appear here already. That is why you have to do case by case lah. Okay, there's another method. If you don't want to do n with 2, n with 4, n with 6, you can also do start with 3, start with 4, start with 5, start with 6. But if I do like that, there will be more case lah. But can also, you will get the same answer. But I didn't do it like that. It's because if I do start with 3, start with 4, I have to do 4 times, right? I have to do 4 cases. Okay, 4 separate cases. So that's why I end up choosing the one yang end with 2, end with 4, end with 6. So there is 3 separate case. I have to do one by one lah. So let's assume it ends with 2. So if it ends with 2, what does it mean? It means 1P1 here because 2 will go in here. Okay, 2 will go in here. And then what about the first digit? Well, if the 2 go here, it means the first digit, we still have the 3, 4, 5, 6 option, right? We still have the 3, 4, 5, 6 option. It means for the first digit, it will be 4P1. You understand, right? Because the 2 doesn't overlap. Okay, so if the 2 goes in here, it means 1P1, and then the 3, 4, 5, 6, from 4, you will choose one to masuk this kotak lah. And then remaining these 2 kotak, it will be, okay, okay, these 2, you already masuk the last kotak. Let's assume the 3, 4, 5, 6, you already choose one to go in here. Let's say the 4 goes in already. So remaining got how many option left? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? There's 4 option left. So the rest 4 option, you will choose 2 to masuk inside here. That's why it's 4P2. And then you will times here, times here. Okay, and then later you just press calculator lah. Okay, let's do case number 2. Same thing like just now. Let's use red color this time. So 4 goes in here already, right? So that now it means this is 1P1 lah. Ends with 4. Okay, it means 4 definitely goes in here. All right, if it ends with 4, it means your first kotak here cannot be 4P1 because if the 4 goes in here already, it means the 4 here cannot appear inside here already, right? There's only 3, 5, 6 because they say without repetition. Okay, it means the 4, if it ends with 4, then it cannot treat 4p1 here. It's 3p1. You understand, right? Because the 4 overlaps. So that's why when the 4 yang last punya kotak sudah ambil 4, it means this kotak tak boleh ambil 4 dah. So there's only 3p1. And then let's assume that 4 masuk here, and then the 3p1, 3, 5, 6, one of these masuk, let's say 5 masuk. So you left with 2, 3, 6, 7, 4 of this option. And then 4 of this option will choose another 2 to masuk the middle one. Yeah. And then times them, and then you get the answer. All right. Okay. Finally, is the case number 6. Case number 6. So case number 6 is they want to end with 6. So definitely it's 1p1. Yeah. Because there's only 1 6 from the option. So imagine if the 6 masuk here. So let's say the 6 masuk sini dah. It means what would be the first kotak? The option in the first kotak, you can either masuk 3, 4, or 5, right? 6 cannot because 6 the last kotak ambil already. So definitely this is 3p1, right? Okay, it means from because the 6 is taken by the last digit, and then it's either 3, 4, 5. And let's assume the 4 goes in here, right? The 4 goes in here. So you will left with 2, 3, 5, 7, right? And this 4 digit, you will choose another 2 digit to goes in the middle here, and then times, right? So I hope you understand my explanation. Now it's time to press calculator. So what is 4p1 times 4p2? Well, you can press calculator. You will get 48. Okay. Same thing here. You can press calculator. You will get 36. Wait, let me try. Yeah, 36. And then the last one, you can press calculator also. You will get 36 also. Yeah. And then finally, you can take all these answers, add all together, and then you can find the answer, right? So the number of ways, I'm just gonna write number of ways is equals to 48 plus 36 plus 36. Okay, so let me press calculator and then see what I get. Okay, my calculator give me 120. Yeah, so that's the answer. Okay, okay, sudah siap? Okay, now we are doing bahagian B. So bahagian B, they will give you 3 soalan. You will only choose 2 soalan. But I will jawab all the 3 questions. Okay, so let's start 13A. Diagram 13 shows a point P lies on the circumference of a unit circle. Whenever you see this word unit circle, it means the radius is 1 unit. Okay, that's what it means by unit circle. The radius is 1 unit. So straight away, go here, write 1, go here, write 1, go here, write 1, go here, write 1. But this one, you have to put negative. Okay, because in a Cartesian plan, if the point is on the left side, you have to put negative. If it is below the 0, you have to put negative also. And guess what? The OP garisan also is 1 unit because it's unit circle, right? And there is one more thing you can do if it's unit circle. You can go to the x coordinate and write C, and go to the y coordinate and write S, all right? Because if it's a unit circle, any point on the circumference of the circle will give you the cos theta answer and the sin theta answer. The x coordinate will be the cos answer, the y coordinate will be the sine answer, but only if it's unit circle. And I will explain to you why. It's because the radius is 1 unit. It means because we all know the formula for sine theta is opposite divide hypotenuse. The formula for cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. Because so kah to, right? Okay, let's write the tangent one also lah. Opposite over adjacent, right? So imagine if I tarik satu line bawah sini, definitely it will be 90 degree, right? So imagine what would be the sine theta, right? The sine theta will be opposite of hypotenuse. Opposite is the panjang from here to here. And guess what? The panjang from here to here will be the y coordinate because this is the vertical distance of the point, which means it's actually the y coordinate, right? And then you have to divide with hypotenuse, which is 1. But when you divide 1, when you take y divide 1, you just end up with y. That is why your y coordinate automatic gives you the uh sorry. Wait. I'm doing sine, right? So let's say I want to find sine theta. It will be opposite divide hypotenuse, but the opposite will be the y coordinate, yeah. And then the hypotenuse is 1, right? Because hypotenuse is the one opposite 90. So that's why you end up with y coordinate. That's why I can straight away say that the y coordinate is the sine answer. Then what if it's a cos? Okay, cos formula is adjacent divide hypotenuse, right? So if I want to find cos theta, the adjacent will be the panjang here, from here to here, right? Which I don't know, but it will be the x coordinate. Yeah, because this distance depends on your x coordinate, right? Because x is actually the distance from here to here. So what you're doing is taking the x coordinate, divide by 1, because the hypotenuse is 1. That's why you end up with x. That means the x coordinate is the cos theta answer. All right. Okay. Let's see what they want here. Based on the diagram number 1, they say derive the basic trigonometric identity sine square plus cos square equals 1. Okay, this is one of the famous question in trial paper. I remember last year, trial 2022, this come out in 2 different state paper. So I'm already used to this question. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you how to derive this formula. This is the basic identity formula. Yeah, it's this is because basic identity you need to hafal, right? Got three, okay, and this is the first one, right? And if they want you to derive, I teach my student in class also how to derive this formula. This formula actually come from Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so what you need to do now is you have to draw a right angle triangle. Right? Actually, no need lah. Actually, no need draw. Yeah, because it's given in the diagram. So we're just gonna use this diagram, prove it. So, first thing first, I will write down let's see. I will write down the sine theta, cos theta, tangent theta answer. Right? So sine theta answer will be y. Okay, I already explained why, because sine is opposite divide hypotenuse, and the opposite is the y coordinate. Because the opposite is the vertical distance, means the y coordinate, and then divide hypotenuse means divide 1. But when you divide 1, nothing happens, right? And then what about cos? Cos is just gonna be x, right? It's actually x divide 1 lah, but it's x. Then what about tangent? Tangent is opposite divide adjacent. Well, the opposite is the y coordinate, because opposite is the panjang from here to here, and the distance here would be the y coordinate. And then divide with the adjacent, which is here, which is the x coordinate. So tangent is equals to y over x, right? Now, how do we prove that the sine square plus cos square equals to 1? We can write down the Pythagoras theorem, okay? Because this formula actually come from the Pythagoras theorem. So, but the Pythagoras theorem looks like this: a square plus b square equals to c square, right? This is the Pythagoras theorem, right? And what I will do now is I will take this whole equation, divide by c square, right? And the reason why is because I want to change this into 1. Okay, I want to change this into 1, right? Uh, Instead of writing a square plus b square equals 1, I think I will write x square plus y square. Yeah, because we already know this, the distance here is actually y, this distance x, right? Okay, I know in when you belajar in sekolah, the Pythagoras theorem is a square plus b square equals 1, right? But since we're trying to prove using this question, so it's better we just follow the length given in this right angle triangle, which is x, y, and 1. So it's better to write x square plus y square equals 1. Yeah, because Pythagoras theorem, right? So it means this side square plus y square equals 1. Okay. And now it's already 1. It means I can ganti the x with cos theta, right? So it becomes cos theta square plus y, which is, but y is sine theta. So it becomes sine theta bracket square equals 1. Okay. And you need to know that if I want you to do cos theta square, the square you cannot write like this. This is wrong. Okay. The correct way to write it is write the square here, right? So cos theta square, it means cos square theta, right? And sine theta square is, you will write the square here equals to 1. And you can just rewrite this again, sine square plus cos square equals 1. And then you will have the basic identity. And then sudah siap already, then you can write the derived. Okay, derived. Okay, so this is how I derive the basic identity by using Pythagoras theorem. Okay, all right. But usually, if the soalan never give me any diagram and they want me to derive, I usually will draw my own right angle triangle. Okay, and then I will call this A, B, C, and then I will start writing sine theta equals to, uh, yeah, I'll start using this to, how to say, I will just call this theta, and then I'll write sine theta equals to b over c, cos theta equals to a over c, tangent theta equals b over a, and then I will use Pythagoras theorem, a square plus b square equals c square, and then everything divide c square jadi satu, and then this one is c square, yeah. And then try to sub inside lah, and then I will end up like this also. Okay, but that one is kalau the soalan tak bagi diagram, baru saya akan lukis sendiri. Okay, but for this question, I think I'll just do it like this. Yeah, this is good enough. So let's continue with question number 2. Okay, so I will do it here. So question number 2, find the value of cos 2 theta if x equals 0.1736. If x is 0.1736 means the x coordinate is 1736. It means because the x coordinate will give you cos theta answer. It means cos theta is because cos theta is x, right? So it means cos theta is 0.1736. But I want to find the value of cos 2 theta. So how can we find the value of cos 2 theta? Let me think. Let's see. Can I pindah cos to the other side and then find theta and then baru ganti dalam sini to find cos 2 theta? Can I do that? Okay, let me think. I think can also, but I think there's a better way to do this. Cos 2 theta, you can use the double angle formula. Okay. So do you remember double angle formula? Cos 2 theta can change to cos square theta minus sine square theta. But you can also change to 1 minus 2 sine square. And you can also change to 2 cos square theta minus 1. This formula is given in the exam. Okay. But usually I ask my student to hafal it lah. So what I will do now is use this formula, but I will use this one, right? Because I have cos theta. I don't have sine theta, right? Actually, you can find the sine theta also. Okay, but it's a bit banyak kerja lah because you have to pindah the shift cost and then tekan sine theta. Okay, that's why I don't prefer doing that. So that's why I will use this formula. Cos 2 theta is equals to 2 cos square theta minus 1. And we all know cos square theta means, what is cos square theta? Cos square theta means cos theta multiply with cos theta. That's what it means. Okay, cos square theta is actually cos theta times cos theta. So what I can do here is I can put in the cos theta answer, which is 0.1736, and then just square it. Okay, and then minus 1. Because cos square means cos theta times cos theta. It means 0.1736 times 0.1736, right? So you just square it lah. So now you press calculator. 2 times 0.1736 square minus 1. Okay, let me press my calculator. All right, my calculator gave me negative 0.9397. So I think that's the answer. Yeah, 0.9397. Yeah, that's the answer. Okay, hope you understand my explanation. Now we can continue with B, question B. Okay, all right, soalan B. It is given that tangent A equals to 3, tangent A minus B equals to this, where A is reflex angle, B is an acute angle. I already know this question. I need to draw first. Yeah, you need to locate. If you don't locate, you cannot do. And then find number 1, chord A, value of tangent B. All right, let me tell you why I know this question need to draw. Because if you look at the question, they ask you to find chord A, tangent B. It means they never ask you to find the angle. They want you to find the chord angle ataupun tangent angle ataupun whatever lah, something angle like sine angle, cos angle, tangent angle. And for this type of question, you need to draw. Yeah, you need to draw in a Cartesian plane. Okay, okay. So you need to draw. Okay, so first thing first is we draw a cross. Okay, and this cross I will put in the angle A inside, right? But the angle A I have to determine which quadrant first, right? They already mentioned it's a reflex angle, right? What is reflex angle? Reflex angle means it's a quadrant 3 or quadrant 4 angle. We call it reflex angle. Okay. If quadrant 1, we call it acute angle. Obtuse angle is quadrant 2, and then reflex is when it's quadrant 3, or it can be quadrant 4 also. But if you look at this, tangent A equals to 3. Okay, we belajar already, right? Add sugar to coffee. All positive, sine positive, tangent positive, cos positive. So if tangent bernilai 3, it means tangent positive. It means it's either first quadrant or third quadrant, right? So it's very clear to me. If your angle A has to be in first quadrant and third quadrant, but here it says reflex angle 3 or 4. So it's very clear that the angle A is in the third quadrant. Yeah, it cannot be in the first quadrant because they already say reflex angle. And it cannot be in the fourth quadrant because in fourth quadrant, because if it's fourth quadrant, then tangent will be negative. The answer will come out negative, right? That's why you have to choose the one that overlap here, that satisfy both condition, which is third quadrant. So I will draw a line that is in the third quadrant. This is the third quadrant, and then I will tarik another line towards x-axis, and then this will be 90 degree, and the angle is here. This is my angle A. Yeah, it's quadrant 3 angle. And then now we can label in this information lah. So tangent is 301. Tangent, the formula for tangent, I already write it up here, is opposite divide adjacent. Okay, soka toa. So opposite over adjacent. So the opposite is 3. But if you look at this angle, it's not inside the right angle triangle. It's actually more than 90 degree already. It's like more than 180 degree already. So that's why it cannot fit inside the right angle triangle. So what you should do is you have to take the reference angle. The reference angle for A will be here. Reference angle means angle towards x-axis. Okay. So if the angle pusing sampai sini, then the angle towards x will be here. Okay, so now what you do is you use this angle to determine the opposite adjacent hypotenuse. So the opposite will be here, then the adjacent will be here, the hypotenuse will be here. And now you can start to erase the O and write 3. You label with 3 because the opposite is 3, right? And then the adjacent you also can ganti satu, right? Nothing bawah means satu. And you can find the hypotenuse, right? So find it lah. How to find the hypotenuse? H equals square root 1 square plus 3 square. Why plus? Because you are finding the longest side. So you end up with square root 1 plus 9 is 10. So you end up with square root 10. Okay. Sampai sini, you can look at the next question, next information. Tangent A minus B equals 2 over 3. Okay, listen to me. Whenever you see something like this, tangent A minus B, confirm you will use the addition angle formula, right? And what is the addition angle formula? Let me show you. Okay, they got give you in the exam one. So the addition angle formula is here. Okay, you can see it. So from 29 onwards, right? So this one, this 3 is called the basic identities. All right, and then this one is the double angle, right? And then 35, 36, this one all is the addition angle. Okay, addition angle. And now we'll be using this formula, right? And let me tell you how I know, like macam mana saya boleh tahu, oh, bila masa guna formula ni, bila masa guna formula yang tu, bila masa guna formula yang ni, is because I saw the angle got plus minus. So we'll be using this formula. So tangent A plus minus B equals to tangent A plus minus B over 1 minus plus tangent A tangent B. So let's write down this formula in my working, right? So let's write it down. So the formula, okay, where's the question? Okay, the formula here is tangent A plus minus B is equals to tangent A plus minus tangent B over 1 minus plus tangent A tangent B. Right? But this one, the information they give us is tangent A minus B. It means, if they say tangent A minus B is 2 over 3, it means, okay, what does it mean? It means tangent A minus B uh, is 2 over 3, right? Okay. So it means here I have to write what? I have to garis, and here I have to write tangent A minus tangent B. Yeah, because the formula says plus minus. If the formula says plus minus means, it means you will follow the symbol here, right? That's why it's minus. And then if the symbol is minus plus means you don't follow, so it become 1 plus because you don't want to follow here. That's why plus. And then tangent A, tangent B like this. Okay. But we all know tangent A is 3, right? So can we sub the 3 inside here? Okay lah. Let's not do that first. Let's not do that first. Let's just leave it like this. But then they got say B is an acute angle, right? Uh, uh, B is an acute angle. Acute angle means definitely it's quadrant 1 already. You don't have to think already, right? It's quadrant 1. So how? Okay, let's try to sub in the 3, see what happens. 3 minus tangent B over 1 plus tangent A is 3, so it becomes 3 tangent B equals 2 over 3. Can I find tangent B here? It's acute angle, right? So maybe we can cross multiply, darab silang. So 3 times 3, you get 9 minus 3 tangent B like this. And then equals to, let's see, 2 times 1 is 2 plus 2 times 3 is 6 tangent B. Okay. And then how to continue? Okay, I think this one, this number and this number boleh buat sekali. And then this tangent B dengan tangent B boleh buat sekali. Maksudnya, number dengan number boleh buat, tangent B dengan tangent B boleh buat. It means it becomes like this. It becomes 6 tangent B plus 3 tangent B, because the minus 3 you move it here. And then here you become 9 minus 2 because the 2 move it here. So it becomes 7 equals, okay, 6 tangent B plus 3 tangent B. They both have tangent B. So you can actually factorize it. Right? You can take out tangent B, it becomes 6 plus 3 like this. But we all know 6 plus 3 is 9, right? So straight away just write 9 here. Okay. So now it becomes tangent B equals 9 over 7. Okay, and you can find B, right? You can throw away the tangent and then tekan calculator, shift tangent, but don't do that. Don't do that. Because the question never, if the question never asks you to find B, you shouldn't do that, right? Okay, let's, I think I think I'm done already lah. Let's I'm done. How to say? Writing, studying the information already. Now we can do question one already. So question one asks us to find chord A. So definitely we have to refer this drawing here. So chord is 1 over tangent. So if I want to find chord A, it's 1 over tangent A. But we all know tangent A is 3, right? Because if you look at this, what is tangent A? Opposite over adjacent. So it'll be 3/1. Okay. But positive or negative? Positive lah, because third quadrant tangent positive. That's why it's 3, that's why it becomes 1/3/1 here, which is same with 1/3. Okay. But actually you don't need to look at the diagram. You can look at you look tengok sini pun boleh, right? Because here it's already written here already, tangent A is 3. That's why it's so easy. Just 1/tangent A, tangent is 3. That's all. Okay. Then what about the second question? Find the value of tangent B. Sudah siap lah. This is the answer, right? It means I sudah terbuat soalan number 2. So this working here, right here, that's the number 2 punya working lah. Alright, and the answer is 7/9. 7/9. Why I write 9/7? Silap. Mabuk. This one is 7/9, right? It's not 9/7. It's 7/9. Yeah. So this is the answer. Yeah. That's all. So that's it already. Okay. Okay. Let's continue. Okay, number 14. Let's read the question. Diagram 14 shows position of pesticide spraying robot. So PQRS. I let's read first. Diagram 14 shows position of pesticide spraying robot on the Cartesian plane at point OPQR. So OPQR, these are all robots. Okay, robot, and the robot will spray the pesticide. Okay. It is given that OPQR forms a parallelogram. Parallelogram means the opposite side and the opposite side will have will be parallel, and also they will have the same length. Okay, parallel and sama panjang lah. Okay, same with this side and this side, right? They will be parallel and sama panjang. So they give us vector PR here. So I think I can join a line like myself like this, and the arrow have to point towards R, and I can write the vector negative I minus 15j. Okay, so if it's in terms of ij, it means this is coordinate vector. Okay, and what is the I means? The I means vector I is for pergerakan yang kiri kanan. I is for horizontal movement, and then J is for vertical movement. Okay, J is for pergerakan yang atas bawah. So if I tell you negative I minus 15J, what does it mean? It means ke kiri 1, ke bawah 15. That's what it means. It's going to the left 1 kotak, and then it's going downwards 15. So imagine this is 512. You go ke kiri 1. It means the x coordinate for point R is 4 lah. And then you go down 15, means you will take 12 minus 15, which is negative 3. Okay, and now you have your coordinate R already, which is 4 negative 3. Okay, understand, right? Just take 5 minus 1, get 4, and then 12 minus 15, you get negative. Because you go down 15 kotak. That's why here is 12. So if you go down 15, you minus 15 lah, and you get negative 3 here. Okay, all right, let's erase all this. Okay, now we read the question. Okay, now you see what the question was. Soalan number 1. Find the value of magnitude of, okay, what is this? Vector OP. Ayo, OP, okay. OP minus QP. Okay, actually, if I tell you minus vector QP is the same with saying it's plus vector PQ. Okay. Yeah, you can terbalikkan the direction. But when you terbalik the direction, you have to tukar tanda. So QP when becomes PQ, you have to tukar tanda lah, minus jadi plus. And then here we plus QR. And then minus OR, you can also change to plus RO. Okay. Same concept. When you terbalikkan the direction, you have to tukar tanda. Okay. So OR become RO, but you have to tukar tanda. Why I want to jadikan semua plus? Because when two vectors plus, and then tengah-tengah sama, we can potong. Okay, if minus cannot potong, right? But plus, if tengah-tengah can potong. So O, P and P can cut, Q and Q can cut, R and R can cut. So you left with O to O, which means the vector would be 0. The magnitude will be 0. Okay, the magnitude will be 0 because you end up moving to your, to the original point. Because O to P, and then P to Q, Q to R, R to O. It means this the magnitude of this vector will be 0. Okay, 0. Okay, you know why? Because from O going back to O, it's same as saying 0i plus 0j. It means your magnitude will be square root, bracket square, 0 square, you end up with 0 lah. Yeah, and end up with 0. Okay, because vector is like vector OO, like vector OO. So vector OO is definitely 0i 0j, right? That's why the magnitude is also 0. Okay, hope you understand. Second question, find the coordinates of point Q. Well, we already know point O, 0, 0. Point P, we also know. Point R, I also know. I explained just now how I get this. How to find point Q? Well, it's very simple because this is a parallelogram. So if it's a parallelogram, you can use midpoint to do it. Actually, there's so many methods to do it. Okay, I can, in my head, I can think of maybe three methods. Yeah, three methods I can think of right now to find coordinates of point Q. Okay, the first method is we can use midpoint. Okay, because when we have parallelogram, actually not just parallelogram, rhombus can rhombus, parallelogram, square, rectangle, all these shapes. When you have three points and you want to find this point, you can use midpoint, right? But midpoint, how to use midpoint to do it? Well, very easy. The midpoint of PR will be the same with midpoint of OQ. Okay, but you can only do this if they got mentioned parallelogram lah, because the diagonal OQ and the diagonal PR, they will intersect at the same point, and that point is the midpoint of PR, but at the same time, it's also midpoint of OQ. Okay, and then what you can do here is you take midpoint of OP equals to the midpoint of it's not OP. If you do OP, salah already. Yeah, it's actually midpoint of OQ. Sorry. Because if you do midpoint of OP equals midpoint of RQ, confirm wrong. Because the OP midpoint is here. The RQ midpoint is here. They are not the same, right? You have to take midpoint of OQ sama dengan midpoint of PR. Baru betul, okay? And the formula for midpoint is x plus x divided 2, y plus y divided 2. Same here, x plus x divided 2, y plus y divided 2. So for here, I will do midpoint of OQ first. So OQ will be 0 plus x divided 2. Okay, this one we don't know. We want to find, so just call it x plus 0 plus x, so x. And then 0 plus y is just y. Okay, then what about midpoint of PR? I will do it here. So midpoint of PR will be 5 plus 4. Okay, x plus x divided 2, and then y plus y, 12 plus negative 3, 12 minus 3. And then now you will end up with x over 2, comma y over 2. It's okay if you don't have the xy, because later you can compare. 5 plus 4 is 9 over 2. 12 minus 3 is also 9 over 2. So now I think you can find your x and y. Your x, because you can compare the x coordinate with x coordinate, and then compare the y coordinate with y coordinate. It means x over 2 equals 9 over 2, and x equals to 9. Because these two, when you move here, times 2, cut, left with 9, right? Then what about the y? So you compare the y coordinate with y coordinate. Y over 2 equals 9 over 2, and you will get y equals 9 also, because the 2, when you move here, become times 2, cut, left with 9. Okay, all right, so that's all. That's your point Q coordinate, right? But I mentioned to you just now, got a few method, right? So the first method is doing it like this, so you'll get point Q 9, 9. Okay, another method, you can also do it like this. If you look at here, this is a parallelogram, right? So from O to P, it's going 5 ke kanan, 12 ke atas. Do you agree? Because the coordinate of O is 0, 0, right? The coordinate of O is 0, 0. The coordinate of P is 5, 12. It means from O to P, you need to go 5 ke kanan, 12 ke atas. It means from R to Q also, you have to go 5 ke kanan, 12 ke atas. Alright? It means the 4, you have to plus 5, which is 9. And then the negative 3, you have to naik 12. So what is negative 3 plus 12? You will get 9. Right? And you can see this answer is the same with the answer I show here. Okay? So that's another method lah. But there is also one more method. If you don't want to gerak macam ni, you can also gerak macam ni. Like this, from O to R. So from O to R, you have to gerak how many ke kanan, how many ke bawah. 4 ke kanan, 3 ke bawah, right? Because from 0, 0 to 4, negative 3. So 4 ke kanan, negative 3 ke bawah. It means P to Q also, it will be 4 ke kanan, 3 ke bawah. It means I have to take 5 plus 4, 12 minus 3. 5 plus 4, you will get 9. 12 minus 3, you will also get 9. You can see it also ends up with the same answer. It and doesn't matter which method you use. I think you will get full mark. Doesn't matter which method you use. All right. So you can just choose any of the method I mentioned just now to do it. Okay. All right. Hope you understand. Let's continue with B. Okay. Let's see. Robot at point P move. Okay. Definitely is a locus question, because move is locus. Locus is all about moving point. So robot at point P move. Where is point P? Okay. I think I have to erase all this because it's so messy. Okay. So I will erase all this. Okay, erase, erase, erase. Okay, so what is the coordinate just now here? I think it's 4, wait, berapa tadi? -3, yeah, 4, -3, and this one is 0, 0. This one is 9, 9, right? Yeah. Okay, so now let's see. Point P, the robot point P at point P, move to point T 2, 6. Okay, where is 2, 6? 2 is somewhere here, 6, I don't know, maybe here, I don't know, So point T is not labeled here lah. With a constant velocity of this, it takes T second to reach point T. And then it says, number 1, based on the given information, write a vector equation in terms of T and W. Write a vector equation in terms of T and W. Okay, first thing first, point P is 512, right? Point P is 512, right? So you are moving from point P, which is 512, to a new point, which is point T 26, right? And the velocity is this. This is the velocity, and it takes T second to reach point T. Okay, takes T second. Okay, what is the formula for speed? Okay, speed ataupun velocity. Okay, speed and velocity maksud dia lebih kurang sama. In this chapter, you can just treat them as the same thing, speed and velocity. And the formula is take the distance, or you can say the displacement divide dengan time. This is the formula. And let's say your distance unit is in meter, your time is in second, then your speed automatic will be ms minus 1. Okay, so imagine this is your velocity. That's why the unit is ms minus 1, right? And then they say it takes t second. It means you can find the distance here, right? You can find the distance here. How to find the distance here? To get the distance in meter, you have to take your speed, which is the in meter per second, darab dengan second. It means you take your speed times time. It means to get distance, you have to take the speed times with the time. Okay, darab dengan time to get distance. Okay, it's the same formula, just darab. So what is the distance? The dis sorry. Yeah, what is the distance? Speed darab time, right? Speed darab time. Okay, and what's the speed? The speed is -5I plus WJ. Okay, but you have to multiply with the time taken, which is T, right? So I'm just gonna write here T. Okay, and after I take the speed darab time, okay, I will get the distance, right? But I don't have the distance here, but actually you can find it actually, because if you want to find the distance in terms of ij, is possible, because you have point P, this is the starting point, and then this is the ending point. And then can you find the distance? Yes, right? But don't tell me you go and use this formula, the square root x minus x squared plus, no, don't do that. That one is you find the magnitude already. Okay, so the soalan actually want you to write a vector equation. So you will write in terms of ij like this. Okay, it means you are finding the distance from P to T, but the distance is in terms of ij like this. Okay, don't find the magnitude, don't find the distance, don't find the actual magnitude. So what you do is you to find, because you are going from P to T, it means if you want to know the number in front of I, you have to take x coordinate minus x coordinate. Tapi 5 minus 2 ataupun 2 minus 5, 2 minus 5, because this is the ending point. Okay, because you are going from P to T. If you are going from P to T, it means it's vector PT. It means you have to take T minus P, not the other way. It has to be T minus P. So 2 minus 5, you write here, and then 6 minus 12, and then you will get the number in front of J. So the answer will be -3I plus 6 minus 12 is -6. So I can just erase the plus, change to minus, and then this will be T -5I plus WJ. But you can actually expand it, right? So it becomes -5TI plus TWJ. So I think this is the answer, right? Based on given information, write a vector equation in terms of T and W. So should I pindah? Okay, they just say express, right? So I think done already lah. Yeah, I think I will just leave it like this. Yeah. Okay, number 2 baru saya pindah. Number 2 baru saya pindah. Okay, because number 2 baru dia suruh cari value, right? Okay, now I can compare. Okay, actually, if I want to pindah also can, right? Because I know some student will do it like this. They will take all the yang ada I letak sekali, and then yang ada J letak sekali, and then take the coefficient equals 0 equals 0. Can also. But there's another way to do it. You can straight away compare. Because on the left side you have ij, on the right side you have ij, so you can just compare the coefficient straight away. So the coefficient of I on this side is -5t, The coefficient of I on this side is -3, so compare straight away. The coefficient of J on this side is TW. The other one is -6. Okay? And then now you can find T, 3/5. Just ganti dalam here, 3/5 W equals -6, W equals -6. Divide 5 become times 5, times 3 become divide 3. So W equals to -10. Okay? So that's the answer lah, right? And I told you just now, there's another method also. Okay? You can also pindah yang ada I on one side, yang ada J semua letak on the other side, and then take both coefficient equals 0 can also. Okay? That's another method that you can do. So up to you lah. Which method you want to do, you will end up with the same answer. Okay, sudah siap. Hope you understand. Okay, I think this is the last question. So let's finish it. Diagram 15 shows function f that max x, y. It means going from x to y means x would be the object, y would be the image. So we can say fx is equals to y, right? And they even give you satu, they even tell you when the object is a, the image is -2. The arrow is going here. So we can actually form the first function here, fa equals -2. It means when the object is a, the image is -2. That's what it means, right? And then function g that maps y onto z. It means g, y, okay, when y is the object of function g, you will get z as your answer. And they also put a line here. So when the y is -2, you can see the line link to b, okay, it goes to b. So when -2 is the object, and then it goes through function g, you will get b, right? So with this information, I think I can do a1 now. A1 expressed in terms of f and g of the function that maps x onto z. X onto z. So if I want to go from x onto z, it means I have to do function f first and then go function g, right? So I'll write my working here. So if I want to express in terms of fg function that map x onto z, it means the function will be, okay, some students, they will write like this, fg, right? But if you write fg, then salah, okay? Okay, from x to z is not fg, it's actually gf. Okay, it's actually gf. Because I always teach my student, you will always buat yang dalam dulu. You will always buat yang dalam dulu. Alright? So, if you write fgx, it means you buat g dulu. Because you buat dalam, which is wrong already. Okay? So, you have to place gf lah. Because you have to do function f dulu, baru do function g. So, f have to write belakang. Okay? And here, of course, is x lah. And when you gfx, it will give you z. Right? And why you have to write gfx, I repeat one more time, is because there will be a bracket here and you have to always buat yang dalam dulu. It means when you do gfx, you will get gy, because fx is equals to y. And then gy, you can see it gives you z, right? See, it's like betul one, okay? But if you write fgx, then something wrong already, because gx, there's no gx here. Ada gx ini, tak ada kan? Then you get stuck already. So the correct one is actually gfx. Okay, and then the fx you can stop using here, okay, which is y, and then gy is z. So yeah, everything makes sense. Okay, all right. So I'm just the big bracket actually tak nak letak pun tak apa, yeah, right? But if you want to letak also can, up to you. Okay, let's do number 2 now. State the value of g inverse g -2. So g inverse g -2, the answer will be -2. Okay, whenever you see satu function, satu inverse, you can straight away cut. Okay, and then -2 is the answer. You don't have to waste your time, right? Then what if I say g inverse 7? What's the answer? 7 also, because the g inverse can cut, right? But you can only cut when it's the same function and the same function punya inverse. Baru boleh. Alright? Like for example, if I tell you fg inverse, then cannot already. This one cannot cut. Okay, because it's like f and g, right? If it's f inverse, then boleh lah, right? So yang penting is satu function biasa, satu function inverse, then can cut. Okay, so yeah, that's all. Sudah siap. Okay, soalan B. It is given that f inverse x equals to this, x cannot equals to 2. This is the undefined case. Gfx equals to 3x minus 6. Find number 1, the value of a. So value of a means, where is a? Oh, okay. So I think these two questions they are related. Okay, they are connected. So value of a, it means they are asking this one lah. It means we have to use this information. Fa equals -2, right? So it means if they want to find value of a, it means what they are asking you to find is they are asking you to find the object of -2. Because do you remember -2 is the image under function f, right? and the object is A. When the object is A, the image is -2. So what they're asking you to find it, if they want to find A, means find object of -2, right? But you cannot find A without fx. It's impossible. You cannot find A without fx. You need to have the function fx, okay, in order to find A. But how to find fx? Okay, they give us the f inverse already. So we will use the f inverse x to find fx first. So f inverse x equals to 2x plus 3 over x minus 2. And how can we find fx from our f inverse? Okay, I always use this method. Okay, it's the same method you use when you nak cari inverse. Okay, sometimes they give you normal function, you find inverse, you will also use this method. But if they give you inverse, you want to cari balik normal, you will also use the same method. And the method I teach my student is like this: let depan equals to y, let belakang equals to y. So it becomes let f inverse x equals to y, depan equals y, belakang pun the whole thing equals y. 2x plus 3 over x minus 2 equals y. And then now what I do is I will cari x here, cari x here. Okay, so for the first one, how to cari x? Okay, f inverse actually you can pindah to the other side. But when you pindah, dia bukan jadi bahagi tau, dia jadi f. Okay, it means f pindah jadi f inverse. Kalau f inverse pindah jadi f macam tu, right? And now since your fy is equals to x, and now it means you can find your x lah, because x is actually your function f. Okay, you understand, right? Because x is your function for fy. So if you can find your x from here, it means you get your fy already. Okay, but they want fx, right? It's okay, later you just change to x. So let's try to find x from here. So how to find x? First, get rid of the fraction. X times y is xy, y times -2, -2y. Okay, just pindah jadi times, jadi darab. And since you are finding x, you will, how to say, try to collect all the terms with x on one side. So yang ni ada x saya letak sini, yang ni pun ada x saya letak sekali, plus xy pindah jadi minus xy. 3 tak ada x, so I throw it to the other side, become -3, and then -2y I will also write here. Okay, can you see, yang ada x saya letak sekali, yang tak ada x saya buang to the other side. And then sampai sini you can factorize out the x, right? Factorize out the x. So you're left with 2 minus y inside the bracket equals -3 minus 2y. So now you can find your x, -3 minus 2y over 2 minus y. Okay, all right. X is actually your fy. Do you remember? So it means, what is your fy? Your fy is actually -3 minus 2y over 2 minus y. But I want to mention one thing. There is another way to write this. You can also write 3 plus 2y over 2 plus, sorry, over y minus 2. Okay, it means sometimes, okay, this one and this one, they don't look the same, right? They look like two completely different answer, but let me tell you, they are the same thing, because you can actually tukar tanda for everyone to get the other version of the answer. So let me tell you, -3 tukar tanda jadi 3, -2 tukar tanda jadi +2, 2 tukar tanda jadi -2, -y tukar jadi +y. It's just that I write in front. Okay, so actually both this answer is the same thing actually. Okay, they don't look the same, but they are the same. All right. So what if I give you another example? Negative CD minus DE over negative F. So another, okay, let's put plus here. So what is the other version of the answer? Negative CD tukar tanda jadi CD, plus DE jadi minus DE, and then negative F jadi F. Alright, yang ini dengan yang ini adalah benda yang sama. Nampak macam lain, tapi sebenarnya benda yang sama. Right? Okay, let's go back to the question. Okay, now we already have fy, but I want fx, right? So fx will be what? -3 minus 2x over 2 minus x. Okay, let's not use this answer lah. But actually, use this answer also can. That is the same. Okay, I just mentioned. Okay, let's use my original answer. But you have to write x cannot equals 2. Yeah, because if 2, then 2 minus 2, 0, then it will be undefined already. So now what they want to find? Value of a, right? So now we can use this information. Fa equals -2. It means when the object is a, the image is -2, right? So let's try to sub x, which is the object, with a. So it becomes -3 minus 2a over 2 minus a. And this whole thing will give you -2 for the image. Okay, so now you can find your a. -3 minus 2a. Okay, this one hantar atas jadi darab lah. -2 times 2, -4. -2 times -a, +2a. Since I'm finding a, yang a saya letak sekali, -2 jadi +2. 2a plus 2a, 4a, -4 jadi +4. -3 plus 4, 1. So a is 1 over 4. Okay, so that's the answer. So that's it. All right. Okay, if you use this to do, you will get the same answer. Okay, trust me. Okay. All right. Now we can do soalan number 2. Okay. Number 2 says wants you to find gx. So definitely we have to use this other information. So we already know g big bracket fx equals 3x minus 6. Okay. I always prefer write the big bracket because I want to remind myself. I also want to remind my students to buat dalam dulu. Okay. Okay. Actually, we have fx already just now. Do you remember fx? Yeah, this one, right? Negative 3 minus 2x over 2 minus. And I repeat one more time. You can also write this one and this one same. Okay, but they want fx, right? So negative 3 minus 2x over 2 minus x. So fx, negative 3 minus 2x over, what is it? Negative 3 minus 2x over 2 minus x. Okay. Okay, so how to find gx? How to find gx? Well, you have, if they give you composite function and you have single function and you are trying to find the other single function, you will, this is a famous question. Yeah, when they where they give you composite function and they give you single function and they ask you to cari balik the other single function. So the method you use here is you have to start with the composite function. And when you start with the composite function, you have to check whether dalam ada or dalam tak ada. Kalau dalam ada, then you kena let. You kena let nanti. Kalau dalam tak ada, then you tak payah let. Okay. Tapi kalau dalam tak ada, it will be much more easy. It will be very easy to do because kalau dalam tak ada, luar mesti ada. And then it will be very simple. You just do it normally saja. Tapi kalau dalam ada, then you have to let. That one is like a little bit more difficult. So if you check now, fx dalam ada sebenarnya. So you have to, kalau dalam ada, you kena masukkan. So negative 3 minus 2x over 2 minus x. And then equals to 3x minus 6. And I told you already, kalau dalam ada, luar mesti tak ada one. So if you look at luar now, G, you don't have function G, right? So you get stuck here already. Okay. So when you get stuck here, you have to let. That's why I cakap tadi, kalau dalam ada, you kena let, right? And the step is let y equals to bracket and then cari x. I repeat one more time. The step is like this. Let y equals bracket and then cari x. So let y equals bracket. So y equals bracket. So negative 3 minus 2x over 2 minus x. And then cari x, right? So how to cari x from here? I can just conteng somewhere here. So y is equivalent to negative 3 minus 2x over 2 minus x. If you want to find x from here, you can pindah. So pindah 2 ke atas, 2 jadi darab lah. So y times 2 to y minus x times y, xy, and then negative 3 minus 2x. And don't forget you are trying to find x. So if you want to find x, try to letak x sekali lah. So macam mana letak x sekali? Minus 3 hantar jadi 2y plus 3. Yang ada x letak sekali. So minus xy jadi xy and then minus 2x. And now we can factorize the x on this side. So it becomes y minus 2 and then this is 2y plus 3. And now you can find your x. So your x is equivalent to what? Y minus 2 pindah jadi bahagi. So it becomes 2y plus 3 over y minus 2. So this is the one that you have to sub here. 2y plus 3 over y minus 2. Okay? And now you can continue your working. It becomes y because you already let y equals bracket. So now you will not write g bracket, you will write gy now, and then equals 3x minus 6, and the x you will sub with this, right? The new x, which is 2y plus 3 over y minus 2. And if you keep going, you will get the gy answer. But you want gx, right? It's okay. That one, you just change the y to x later. Okay, so let's find the gy first. So 3 times, okay, this one when you times, you darab atas saja. Okay, so 3 times 2y, 6y. 3 times 3, 9 over y minus 2 minus 6. But this minus 6, you can straight away take the minus 6, darab dengan y minus 2. Because you want to make the denominator same, right? And then when you do like that, you can straight away tulis atas lah. It means it means the whole thing over y minus 2 like this. So now you get 6y plus 9 minus 6y, and then negative 6 times negative 2 is positive 12 over y minus 2. And then now you can solve this. 6y minus 6y is 0. 9 plus 12 is 21 over y minus 2. Okay, but this is the gy answer. I want the gx. So it'll be 21 over x minus 2 lah. And the x cannot equals to 2 because got undefined case, right? When bawa other x, you have to write the undefined case. And the undefined case for this is 2 because if the x is 2, 2 minus 2 is 0, and you cannot divide by 0. Okay, if you divide by 0, you get math error. That's why that's the x cannot equals to 2 because the function will be undefined. All right, so that's all. Hope you understand. Kertas peperiksaan tamat. All right, see you next video. Bye bye.